Right, we going live. We live.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, hey, you ready to play your joint?
Let me see.
You gonna share your screen? Oh, you should have sent me the video. I would have played it live on the chat on the thing.
Matter of fact, yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been nice.
You send it right to me. You got my email.
Matter of fact, yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been nice.
Yeah,
Always keeping it real, you know, keeping the people woke.
Yeah, that.
You know, might as well add on to that real quick. No something for you and your viewers. You know, since they just been keeping it 100. Yo, son, let me ask you something. They be claiming they apes. If they really gorillas, then how comes them and men still walking around and they none of them get at them? Separation is reparations in this nation. Case closed, no investigation. It is what it is, no explanation. Y'all over here praying like y'all couldn't be saved. We ain't one the same. He's a field nigga. He's a house nigga. Me, I'm a runaway slave. I'd rather be under a grave than under a man that come from a cave. So I'm supposed to get guns and grenades, but I'll be back in a couple of days. Yeah, I'm on like the Django, like Jamie Foxx. Sharpshooter when I aim these shots. They like, here come the pig, and I'm like, good, because I came for the cops. I bang my opposition, hip hop's been glitching since Pop's been missing. That's why none of y'all got my attention. It's repetition. I ain't gotta listen, because I already know what it is. Your flow gonna be flowing like this, talking about how you're rolling the bands. I know how it starts and I know how it ends. Wait, ain't you married? Why you rap about all the hoes you got and the clothes you rock? You need to stop. Nigga, those ain't hot. Man, y'all tripping. Got these Chinese niggas frying y'all chicken. And they don't even look like chicken. Fuck around and it's probably a pigeon. God forgive me. They don't know no better. They probably a Christian, a Muslim, a Hoodlum. To the system, there's no difference. I don't understand it. Are you blacker than me talking about you Spanish? Spanish is language. We the same distance. Your mind's been damaged. Where is Kanye? I'm from Leandro. I'm from the Kanye. They cooling like Kanye. But I'm on the shit they don't teach you in Georgia. I'm criminal minded. You can tell I'm a dog by the women I'm with. I maneuver like Heinrich. But the pressure on the stomach come from my 9. Y'all probably ain't catching it. So rewind in that artist height suggested. I'm possessed with my women, possessed with my blessed. And this is a blessing. You niggas gonna learn the game. This is a lesson. Going to church ain't gonna get you in heaven. Nigga, your brothers are telling me, taking your money, you're stealing your money. Yeah, I'm a rebel, that's why I'm rebelling. Somebody gotta say it, so I'ma tell them. Acknowledge yourself since I was 11 and taught my son by the time he was 7. I'm the best man, though I'm not at your wedding. I hope them get on, they ain't gotta get credit. I'm tipsy, off the nipsy. I'm a hustle until I get it. I see where y'all going, that's not where I'm headed. I'm taking a different direction, so no, we can't do a record. And just for the record, I actually feel disrespected for you even thinking I would be shaking down on your level. Now you a peasant. Trying to smell what the rock is cooking. Cause you heard I set up shop in Brooklyn, but it's still BX to the death of me. They got ingredients. I got the recipe. I hope you die in your sleep. That goes for all my foes that ever slept, but we niggas stay wrong. I don't give a fuck what you niggas want to hear. Just what the fuck you need to hear. Stay woke. Huh? I said, no time for sleeping. The enemy creeping, and we can't defeat them unless we stay woke.
Yeah. There it is. That's what's up right there. Hey, yo, Herman, man, get your butt back in the car, man. We need this to be clear, man. It's on you, Herm. It's on you, brother. Let's set the tone. Let's get it in. Before we go into the body of this, what we're gonna be talking about, of course, we're gonna be breaking down. I would like for Hassan to break down the whole situation that's going on with Kanye West and his black KK uniform, all of that. We're gonna get into that. But before we do that, I want to ask you, Hassan, do you think you and my son could ever piece this thing up with y'all two?
I mean, with my son, it's really not a beef with him. It's just a different in opinions. And I feel like my son and Tamika Mallory owe the black community some answers, and we haven't gotten them answers, or better yet, a lot of people haven't asked the questions that should have been asked. For example, right? My son reached out to me because of a brother named Eric Bennett, who's incarcerated right now in Old McDougal Correctional Facility for murder. You know, good, strong brother, right? He was like, yo, we got a lot of people in common. And we agreed to be cool until the riots broke out,
I remember.
right?
I remember that.
So when I seen Tamika Mallory on the news screaming, let Target and AutoZone burn, and then went outside in my neighborhood on Fordham Road and seen them young boys robbing and looting and setting stores on fire. And I'm like, nah, this ain't it. And when I started realizing that these marches and these protesters that was protesting was going on, you know, somehow there was construction bricks lined up in areas for them to destroy the stores in the community. And, you know, my number one question for my son is if Antifa has, you know, just basically blended in with y'all structure and started destroying the communities, why y'all didn't raise the red flag and tell these children don't go out there, that Antifa is actually out there instigating a lot of the things that's going on in the community. There was a lot of things that they got silent on, which was weird to me, instead of speaking out. But I understood why they couldn't speak out, because you can't serve two masters. They only serve that one God called George Soros, who sponsored those rallies, who paid for them to go outside only as ambulance chasers when the police did something. But yet we have, you know, young kids, 16 years old, just murdered right now in New York City. Nobody's talking about this 16-year-old that's dead, you know? So there's a lot of things that we need answers for when you have Black Lives Matter receiving over $90 million and there's not one building, not one structure dedicated to Black people, just mansions. You got to explain to me how you have no income, but you done moved up to penthouses and in luxury cars at the expense of Black people, but nothing has been done for us except for distractions of ambulance chasing. Most of these people was like, how do we have our kids dying in the streets? And you know, no disrespect, but I got to be disrespectful sometimes. We out there sitting up there protesting over fentanyl Floyd. You mean to tell me Breonna Taylor, you know, it's a proven fact that she was in a drug gang. Her boyfriend was in a drug gang. And I'm not going to say that she deserved to die in that little crossfire that happened. But anytime that our children, you know, the children are supposed to be a future, they supposed to be the future. What we supposed to be passing the torch to, they either being kidnapped by the penitentiary or they dying in the streets at the hand of other children. And people are just looking in different directions as if we don't even see it. There's a nasty spell that's been cast on the Black community, specifically our children, and nobody cares. All we care about is the crackheads. All we care about, you got niggas riding and having a fit because the cracker police decided that they wanted to kill an inmate. And it just so happened that the inmate that they randomly killed and beat like a runaway slave was in jail for stabbing a woman to death. He murdered that woman. He gutted her. The same way they did him, he did a Black female. And instead of him coming back home and doing that to another female, the crackers did us a favor, but we mad. We never using our voice on behalf of the children. It's just niggas that ain't shit. You got niggas like Big Meech. This nigga went to jail for committing. Do you know how many homicide, how many bodies dropped off of the drugs? How many people OD'd off of the drugs that he sold? This nigga comes home. Before he even come home, he got a whole series dedicated to the destruction he did to the Black community. And now we watching wars going on, not because we want to get this shit off of TV, but because 50 Cent mad because his son took a picture with Rick Ross. So now we caught up in between a drug dealer beefing with 50 Cent and a correction officer that turned rapper. And this is what we caught up, that caught our attention. And see me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tap into celebrity gossip because this is the only thing that Black people care about.
Now,
Rich people that only.
Yeah, hold on. We're gonna get into that. I'm glad you mentioned that. But first, I want to let you know, I'm trying to get my channel from being blocked So let's try to refrain from some of the profanity. I know
All
how
right.
you know what I'm saying? But I want to ask you this, man.
Hold on. Can I jump in real quick?
No, when I say what I want to say, Herman, I'm gonna let you jump in. Let me say this, son. I respect the bold stand that you take, brother. You say so much that a lot of us would like to say, but don't say it because of fear. And you attack some of these issues that really do need to be attacked, like the hip hop community. You know, so I gotta first tell you, I respect that about you. And brother Herman, go ahead and say what you want to say, brother. That's all I wanted to drop in. Herman, you hear me?
Herman is just bugging. Him,
Yourself, brother.
you might have to just lock Herman out because his audio is going to be messed up. I already hear it. He playing on the block when he should have been sitting down ready for this.
Yeah, man. Yo, Herm.
We see Harlem. We know what Harlem looked like.
Yeah. This dude is wilding, man. Yo, Herman, we can't hear you. Your phone is muted, brother.
Okay, I was just, brother Mike is having a
down in the car, man. We already know what the block look like, brother.
Okay, now I'm back. Now, brother Hassan, I concur with our brother sa.neter. The way you're coming is getting people's attention. It tends to inflame. Now, I want to ask you about two things you said: fentanyl, Floyd, and Sister Brianna's boyfriend was the drug dealer or dealing in drugs. Now, let's go to fentanyl Floyd, which is what he was labeled as. Our brothers and sisters, especially living on the streets, employed, unemployed, substance abuse is one of the things we turn to. You stop the average brother on the street today and you check their blood. I bet you're going to find traces of some weed or some other type self-medication they're engaged in. Now, so does that give someone else a right to have a knee on their neck, lynch them by knee because substances in his body? When everyone saw he was fully in submission with handcuffs behind him, that's one. Again, on Brittany Taylor. And this is why I'm glad when we get to Kanye. Because Kanye took shots at your shooters. Kanye said, I ain't got nobody. Yeah, I am the punk, the pink wearing, FA, whatever. But all your shooters out there, I'm making more moves and related to. Now, again, we're going to debate what his impact is. But this brother was in his home. They bum rushed the door. If you ain't got a right to pull what you got and let off in your own house to defend your family, when are you able to defend yourself? So one, they was at the wrong place. And the sister Brianna, that wasn't a brother that was there that she was dealing with. It was a brother in her past. And even that was a periodic interchange. How many brothers sell weed on the side now? So did she deserve to get murdered? So I mean, those two. So I hear your brashness, but is there a level of insensitivity there? And I'll yield. I would like to hear your feedback.
Well, personally, I mean, for me being honest, I really don't care about her or her boyfriend. You ever heard that Russian say, if she dies, she dies, she's dead. I don't care. I care about the children. Grown folks, I don't care about grown folks. That the universe don't make no mistakes. God don't make no mistakes. She's going for a reason. In the animal kingdom, the lions, the tigers, and the bears, the little deer that's running behind and he's lagging, the lion's gonna eat him. That's just nature. It's gonna happen. Who I care about is the babies. I'm never gonna sit up here and cry and scream about these adults that was doing wrong. I'm sorry. How do we give a voice to people that was living and doing wrong? You ever heard of karma? It has this way of coming back to you in different ways. She got what the universe decided to hand her. You here for a reason, sa.neter here for a reason, I'm here for a reason. She's gone for a reason. Take that up with the universe. My problem is that we spending too much time talking about grown folks instead of children. There is no hope for the children. There is no future for the children. I don't want to debate or talk about no dead grown nigga. We are supposed to bury, or rather, the children are supposed to bury us. We're not supposed to have them. Problem.
I agree. I mean, none of us know. None of us know. Sure, none of us know when our day and time. Ultimately, it all is in the hands of the Most High. But while we are here in this plane of existence, there is injustice and lives that are taken from our view. Again, we're not on the Most High's level. When someone breaks into someone's home and murders the occupant of that home that was doing nothing except trying to have a good night's sleep, then okay, great. Oh, it was her time to go. But at what point are we going to, one, acknowledge that it's ultimately our right to defend ourselves when we are able to, and when that right is taken from us, for as brothers and sisters or as a community to co-sign the murderers? Some may say that's beyond the pale. And we can have views about all things. And you know how influential your voice is, brother. I think I finally learned the kind of impact you're having during that Super Bowl when Kendrick Lamar said, "Turn your TV off." And I bet you about 1 million people listening to that, one thing came to their mind. There's only one person that put that out. So I just use that as an indirect way. And back to what you said, your universe plugged you in. Look at what we just did. Now, and none of this is planned. I didn't even decide to do the build. I said, you know what? Let me go to 125th instead of just being where we normally are. And that's where sa.neter got started, a stone's throw from where I'm sitting. So this is the dynamic. Look at you two brothers. Look at y'all sitting here. You know, this is historic, man, with the levels of tensions, but y'all put that aside and came to build. So this is the dynamic. But it's like anything else, it has to be nurtured. And we can be provocative, but our opinions, when they become so, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I can. I'm sorry about that. Yes, sorry about that. Okay. So we still.
I'm gonna cut in, Herman. I'm gonna cut in and ask him a question.
Okay, yes. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question, Hassan. Are you pro 50 Cent or Rick Ross? Which one are you going with? I'll keep it real. I'm going with 50 Cent. I'm riding with 50 Cent on this one because 50 Cent sent this little dude to college. He tried to take care of his brother, and then here come Rick Ross. I think Big Meech was wrong for posing with Rick Ross, knowing that they got beef. Why would you do something like that? Why wouldn't Rick Ross just step back and say, you know what? I know what y'all got going on. Let me fall back. I think it was a whole setup by Rick Ross because the movie that 50 Cent was doing, I mean, I was loving that show. I liked the show. It was good entertainment. You know, now it's dead. What do you think about that? Who do you think is wrong in this situation?
Actually, the show getting ready to come back on, and I think a lot of this is just promotion for the show. I do believe that 50 stands on principles when
right.
you got to pick a side because he's shown that consistently. And when it comes to that, I have to stand with 50 because of the principle, because there's too many people that's disloyal. I go through similar situations where I see people standing next to people. It's like, hold up, I've been good to you for years, but you standing or you speaking or you like even down to social media. I've seen people that I got love for, that I've done things for, broke my back for, actually liking posts of people that said derogatory things about me. Like, hold up, you like that? Did you really like that? After I done sat up there and did as much as I done, man, I done damn near put niggas' kids through college. When people be asking about, what are you doing for the community? No, it starts at home. Charity begins at home. And you can't even get to the community when you got a lot of people around you that's doing bad. You can't get to the community because it starts within your village. But the problem is that, when you help people, it creates a monster. It creates a monster. And then when you tell people no, or I ain't got it right now, it creates an enemy. On top of the fact that, in my situation, I personally believe that nobody expected me to become who I am right now. So you got a lot of people that feel like they was the shit back in the days, but this ain't back in the days. You got to still keep yourself relevant now. So,
Right.
When you deal with the principle of loyalty, and 50 know what he did. He took the time up to build this kid, and now you got the kid all over the internet looking like he going to a rehab, and they got him in a chair looking crazy. 50
Right.
Cent just comment. That's one of the videos I was going to do today. 50 commented on the situation and said, damn, you're not gonna help this little nigga. And I felt every bit of that because you know what it's like to come you the star, you little meat, you all over stars and you all over TV, and the next thing you know your career's over with just because your father decided to make one wrong move.
Right.
And then he tried to stand on that.
Crazy, man. I was just talking to, I think we had a little show, not a big show, but we was talking about hip hop. So I'm gonna ask you the question. Do you think the modern day hip hop today is what's destroying the black family, the black community, and the communities?
Absolutely.
That, man.
Absolutely. That's why one of my biggest problems that I had with Mano after me and him had a phone conversation and we squashed the beef, you know, consistently. I had to figure out throughout the years how to keep myself relevant on YouTube because I know that there's a fight. Charleston White, I'll give you an example. His whole blueprint came from me. The going into Burger King, flipping out, cursing out the white woman in the stairs, cursing out the woman in the store, the Derek Williams, me slapping him in the middle of the street. I know what I was doing. YouTube has this thing where they start shadow banning us.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that in the process of them trying to shadow ban and push our channels to the back, nigga, you got to learn how to wild out to get the people back in. You got to do what 50 Cent is doing. You got to set a fire. So in the process of that, get back to the question again. Ask me the question again.
Yeah, I was asking you, do you think hip hop, the modern
Hip hop, right.
day,
There we go. So with the hip hop, right? Here you have, while we was going through the pandemic, drill rap was birthed in New York. And it came like a thief in the night. You had children going into the studio, rapping about crimes where other children was murdered. They made fun of the dead, put it on the internet. Next thing you know, it was so controversial that they dissed the dead. These young kids was going viral. YouTube giving these little niggas $100,000 checks a month. They eating $100,000 a month. So now they showing you, you know, the reward of Satan for them doing what has never been done in history. For one, we always lied about whether we killed somebody. We'd tell a bold-faced lie. You would never know that we did it. We hid the body and lied about it. So now they bragging about it. For two, in history, people allowed their enemies to bury the dead. It was just a respect thing. We started doing shit that was never done in history of black people, which was dissing the dead and disrespecting and making fun. So now I'm constantly battling and trying to bring awareness to the evil that's going on in these streets, what I call the YouTube streets, because it's not even on the streets no more. Now it became the YouTube streets because the bodies was lyrically being dropped over the internet. And when Mayor Adams decided that he announced on the news that he was going to make a stop or bring a stop to New York's rail, Mano comes out and have a sit down with Fabio Foreman and all the rest of these dudes to stop the mayor from the decision that he made. When in all actuality, everybody in the black community should have said enough is enough when it came to that music. That music is evil. I'll play drill music now because some of it is switching over and because it's just a beat. But in order to have a drill music, a drill song, you had to diss the dead, the name of killing, the name of shooting that happened. And I refuse to play that on my platform or to stand by that. So yes, that's the first time in history that you know it brought death to the black community. It brought death to hip hop. Hip hop is over with now. It's over. There's no money left. Every rapper right now is trying to figure out how to start a podcast. It's over.
Yeah, I agree. Herman, you still there, brother? Herman?
Yes, I am.
Okay. One more question, Herman, and then I'm gonna let you go in and talk about the Kanye West situation. Here's a good tough question for you, Hassan. Do you ever think that you go too far sometimes? And let me give you an example. The Gilly the Kid son. I watched that whole episode. I was like, damn, don't do it, Hassan. And you went in and you talked about Gilly the Kid and his son, and how his son passed away, got murdered. Do you ever think sometime first, do you think you go too far sometimes?
Well, here's the thing, right? If Gilly the Kid himself and Wallow himself
Right.
never let the youth, never let the people's mind to believe that there was a door of sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
These niggas made it clear once they opened up that conversation and they tried to put that out there that there is a door of sacrifice.
Mm.
Once they did that, there is no turning back. You sitting up there, you asking multiple artists about the door, about the higher ups. They got numerous interviews doing this. Nori has interviews, academics, Takashi 69. All of these artists are sitting up there, including Gillian Wallow. They made it clear that it is a door. So now, when people are seeing like the sacrifices when you sign that contract that they signed in the industry, yes, his son was killed. Yes, they caught the killer, but people don't understand that life is like Final Destination. Just because there was a killer that actually killed him and the bullets hit him at that time, that's how Satan worked in Satan's house. That's how the universe works when you make a blood sacrifice. Now, some people may not believe that, but obviously Gillian Wallow did because they put that out there to the people. So now when you hold them accountable for these things that they're saying themselves does happen, oh, who believes this type of bullshit? You did. Put it out there. There's no turning back. That's why they would never face me in this conversation because I can use your words to hurt you.
Mm. All right. Herman Smalls, you up, brother.
Peace. Now, I just want to go back to the hip hop question before we touch on Kanye. And I wouldn't say hip hop is dead, but it's definitely in intensive care. And like if we look at its history and its impact when it first was about UNITY and Public Enemy's fight to power, and it was co-opted and it is still co-opted. But like any art form, if we have artists that step forward, like we had a I don't want to speak in the past tense, Dead Prez, I'm sure they're still a group. Public Enemy, they're in existence, but their impact and their peak, that opportunity seems to have passed. And that's when the drill rapper and the other negative impacts. I think we can go back and salvage it. So brother, you think it's unsalvageable? We can never just get the tools to rebuild it?
Here's what you got to understand, right? The true form and essence of hip hop has been died. It's been dead.
I agree.
People made music in back in the days because they wanted you to hear the hottest song. Now you got hip hop artists that has 20 albums that's unreleased that refuse to release this music because they put their blood, sweat, and tears in and they know they're not going to get paid for it. So now the dopest tracks is going to die in somebody's closet, never to be released. And that's where we went wrong in hip hop because the passion has left. People want the reward, they want the money, they don't want the art form anymore.
Right. Right.
Okay, I will stand and review that opinion. But this is a good segue because we talking about one of the biggest names that came under the banner of hip hop, and that Kanye West has got to be given that credit. And he's again in the news. Some say with antics, others say with a real message. Now I know everybody talks about the ego and he's God on earth and he's this. But for me, I grew up around this guy. I don't know if y'all ever heard of him. He's calling himself Cassius Clay, and it was I'm the greatest. I'm young. I'm fast. I'm pretty, and I'm knocking out everything moving. And then he went on and proved it. So we seem to forget that ego, that over the top, that I'm the best that ever did it. That has come along with many entertainers, athletes, and even leaders. You have to have a level of ego to even put yourself in front of people or to put something you create in front of people and say, this is going to be the best out here. So I know he gets the knock for that. The other antics and the things he takes shot at, children are always off limits. So this is the first time, and I know he's gone beyond the pale in some other areas, but now with Jay-Z's children, that's when I was like, okay, no, this is beyond shock. This is something that whatever his ultimate goal or what he thought his goal with, I'm sure he's clear that he misshot that target. But the other aspects, he spoke about our incarceration rates, our abortion rates. He spoke about the decentralization of the black dollar. He spoke about the things that are coming our way. And he even said, I might not have the answer to this equation, but I can't sit here and act like this ain't going on. And don't you move in the same way, Hassan? Don't you move like that, sa.neter? Aren't your mavericks? Didn't you all cut a whole path for yourselves? And don't you get shot at a lot? I thought you would be more identified with him than kind of seeing him as a negative impact. Either one of your thoughts on that.
Question.
Go ahead, I yield.
What's your question, though?
Look.
Hello, Herman.
Besides the ego that is common in entertainment, in sports, in athletics, in leadership, besides that being excessive, can he be redeemed besides some of the antics that he may express from time to time? And do you both of you, do you not see some aspects of yourselves in Kanye's behavior?
First of all, redeemed, he doesn't want to be redeemed. Listen to what he says. Jim Jones made $2 million off of sitting down with those Jews or whoever he sat down with doing business, right? He made $2 million, right? If Jim Jones is worth $2 million and Kanye West is calling him broke and a bum ass nigga, what the hell you think he think about you and me? He doesn't want to be redeemed. He doesn't respect you. You're a peon to him. He does not use his money to benefit black people at all. He only profits off of black people with a black struggle in the black pain. Number one. Number two, he sat up there and told everybody that they sacrificed his mother. No, he sacrificed his mother. He's another one. Now, this is not all the years of people saying, oh, Hassan Campbell's a conspiracy theorist. The nigga got in front of the world and told the world that his mother was sacrificed. You went through the door. There's no way that you can make it to the level of Kanye West of being a billionaire when you was a puppet through all these years without going through that door. So now you tell the world that your mother was sacrificed and they took your woman. Kanye West is not battling for the love of black people in our situations. He's mad because they took his chick. She was part of a contract. They gave her to him and he wants her back. She doesn't want him. So now he's mad and he's on the internet talking about he never really wanted the kids. If he don't want his kids, why would he want your kids? Redeem himself, throw the nigga in the garbage. Throw him in the trash.
You don't believe he's using his platform, his voice, in some respects, the way you use yours? Rock is not boxes. Stepped on a lot of toes, hurt a lot of feelings, but it had a lot of people tuning
How
in.
could you compare me to a nigga that only gets on the internet every couple of years when he's mad at his handlers? He only gets on the internet every few years when he's mad because he can't have his way. He is not consistently trying to use his voice to lead black people to the promised land. This nigga got enough money to buy acres of land and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take the strongest black people in America and set them up here so that y'all don't have to worry about nothing. So that we can have just 1% of the population rules the world. 1% of the population rules the world. Kanye West has enough money to take a small percentage of the most elite black people who are educated enough to rebuild the next Black Wall Streets, but he doesn't. On the flip side, you see Little Boosie, right? You look at what Little Boosie is doing. They decided they want to lock him up and try to give him some federal charges. Why? Because when you look on those acres of land, he started building huts, aka small mini apartments for his family, for his children to have a future. They don't like that. Every structure that we have ever built in America that we started off building that small village has been wiped out. And they consistently do that. Now, Kanye West has enough money to sit up there and say, yo, you know what? Instead of doing what Mayweather did, when he bought 400 million worth of apartments in New York City, to keep us under this spell. Nobody, none of us should live anywhere near tenement buildings or the projects. Everybody black should be running from that shit. You know why? Because it's an experiment. The project, the experiment is the people, not the building. And the environment, the red zones, where our children is murdering each other, parents is burning candles every day and pouring out liquor, while the real niggas is standing on the corner. That is the actual horror movie that we supposed to be getting away from. The black community, aka the hood. It has a spell cast over it. It is not normal to see babies dying on the street corner. And then you got to tell your child you can't go outside for the next 3 or 4 days because this set got beef with that set and they looking for each other right now. So just stay in the house for a couple of days. No, get the hell out of there. If you have the money to get your children out of the hood and you keep them there, that's child abuse. And people get mad at me. It was what's crazy to me is that they got these 3 words:
Mhm.
bozo, clown, weirdo. And I'm looking and analyzing the people that's using these words: bozo, clown, weirdo. You got a dude that's famous on the internet, zip with the drip, right? This nigga's a bozo. This nigga's a clown. This nigga's a weirdo. This man had his grandmother bringing drugs in her panties on the visiting floor so that he could get other inmates high. I'm gonna say that again. The nigga that's on the internet calling niggas bozos, clowns, and weirdo came home from jail in his 40s, applied for welfare. In your 40s, applying for welfare, took a stand on the internet and told the world, yo. Don't call me big homie. Don't call me unk. Because chances are I'm gonna be sleeping with the same girls you sleeping with. So now us uncles, us fathers, us grandparents, we gotta worry about these 40-year-old niggas coming home trying to sleep with our babies?
Damn.
Cause nah, you too old for me. The woman his age is too old. Now he gotta sit up there and stand on a corner and watch and hawk and eye. And at the same time, it's like the generational curse. The nigga mother was a loser. His grandmother was a loser. His father's in jail for the rest of his life. His uncle was in jail for the rest of his life. His brother came home, Big Zip, came home from jail after doing 20 years and went back for robbery. You want that in you want that inside your child's DNA?
Hell no.
But we using the word weirdo, bozos, losers. Let's deal with that. Weirdos, bozos, losers. So the nigga that went to jail, you in jail now. You went to jail now, right? You in jail, and as soon as you went to jail, now somebody else got your wife, your woman. Her legs is up in the ears, her toes is throwing up gang signs. Somebody else is blowing your wife back out for the last 5 years. You come home from jail and you say these niggas is weirdos. No, you the weirdo, my nigga. You left your child, you left your woman, you left your child in the streets unprotected, and another nigga came by, violated your child, had your wife in doggy style, but you calling regular working people the weirdo. These niggas is weird. You just did 5 years in jail with the COs. They run up behind you, tell you to put your hands on the wall. So they got this shit called the swipe. You know what the swipe is?
Yes, I know what the swipe is.
They do the credit card swipe. They take your hand,
Rub it down.
and rub it down the crack of your ass.
No. Don't try not to curse a lot now.
So now you want to go to the yard. And you volunteer to go to the yard. Well, you know they're going to do the swipe every day.
Mhm.
They're going to tell to bend over and cough so that when you cough, they can look at they looking at you up at your cranium. They want you to bend over and cough, and you niggas is coming home from jail with a badge of honor with your chest stuck out. Happy you got jailhouse pride that you I was doing this. Out like what? So the nigga that went to school and became the sanitation worker, he's the bozo. Right? The dude that drives the bus for our children to get to school, he's the bozo. He's the hype, but he's not real. Jay-Z's that deal. Hog and squeeze that still. Nigga, you wake up and go to sleep. thinking about writing rhymes to kill your people, and you calling me weird? When I get on this internet, I'm trying to figure out a way to keep myself relevant so I can pull somebody out of the hellfire. When these niggas wake up, they get their pen and their pad and they trying to figure out how to make somebody rest in peace and make their mama cry. But I'm the weirdo?
Man, it's crazy. It's
Hassan,
getting lit.
Hassan ain't pulling no punches. But brother Hassan, I've heard you say, you said it today, you said it on multiple occasions. A brother, a sister, a family that doesn't get their children out of the hood, that's child abuse. How can you leave your child in that situation? Okay, now is the answer to our condition, because we have a lot of folks that are struggling with homelessness, with substance abuse. So for those who can't get themselves enough to get out, because escapism seems to be the key, go to the burbs. We all aren't going to the burbs. So do you have any uplifting suggestions for those who are going to be trapped in those projects for a while, going to be a part of NYCHA, going to be a part of the public school system? We all aren't going to be blinging it out. What do you have to say to them?
To the people that's stuck in the hood that can't afford to get out of the hood, there's no fault in you. The only thing I tell you is don't live like a coward.
Go
Every
ahead.
day, the number one, see, what people don't understand, our greatest warriors, Khalid, Malcolm X, the brothers like that. What these brothers didn't die because they was out there swinging swords. They died because their voice was powerful. And the minute that poor black people get mad and say enough is enough, they only got one thing to do. The most powerful tool that you have is your voice. Speak out against the evil. No means no, and this is not going to be tolerated. Even if I can, first of all, black people need to learn to call the police. Drug dealers do it. Drug dealers do it. They call the police on each other all the time.
Gangsters
You know how
do
many niggas, gangsters do it? You know how many times niggas called the police on me and said I had a gun on me? And then I had to figure out how to escape because I knew the police was coming. And you got to make sure you don't get caught with that gun because they know you got that gun. Niggas do it all the time. When people sit up there and say, I wouldn't wish jail on nobody, they're lying. The first and foremost is yes, the police have become our enemy. They've been our enemy. But here's the thing. When our children go missing, or when our babies is in the battlefield shot with bullet holes in their leg, the police is the first response to come pick them kids up, not my son and Tamika Mowry. So now we still have to utilize these police. When children go missing and they make it back home, it's the police on that battlefield going to look all out and put the APB out to go rescue your children, not my son or Tamika Mowry. So now we got to learn how to use our enemies too. And when you in the community and niggas are sitting up there selling crack, like I just watched the scene with Jim Jones in Harlem, taking a young YouTuber through the hood. And the scene that went viral was the niggas was in the hallway doing something illegal. So he called the cameraman back out. See, the thing about it is, the people in that building should be dialing 911 on speed dial. And to whoever is in that building conducting a business, making it unsafe, where you can't even have your family come visit you without some shit being illegal in the hallway, they should go to jail. The people that's stuck in poverty and pain, you don't have to live in those conditions. You don't have to accept the evil. Mind your business. I'm gonna just mind my business is for cowards. Mind your business is the conditions that drug dealers and killers put on black people. I'm gonna just intimidate them into minding our business. No, I refuse to mind my business. I'm gonna stick my gun in the nose of shit that don't concern me every chance I get until I liberate my people from the scum that's been left in the hood.
Mm.
I mean, who could argue with that? Revolutionaries have spoken those words and have tried to live by those words in that edict. I just I just look at our condition and seem like the answer is always get out, move. And I'm saying like, whoa, so we're gonna all move. And then when you move into another community, what community is gonna be receptive of an individual that didn't even want to live around their own people? So then
Let me tell you.
we
Listen. Hold on. Where I live at, if you think that you gonna come and stand on the corner and open up shop, every house around me gonna call the police on you.
Go ahead.
Police live in these neighborhoods. If you think you gonna come where I live at, where first and foremost, you gotta understand something, right? When niggas like Jim Jones and Mano and the rest of them that keep trying to sell you the hood, they will not show you what success look like. They're not going to take you outside and show you what success look like. They're going to keep selling you the hood because the minute you stop buying into the hood, they're going to go broke. When you move into neighborhoods like where I look like, where everybody got Benzes and Rolls Royces, that shit ain't nothing. And you think that you're going to bring that atmosphere here, niggas is going to slay you with 911. They're going to slay you. Every neighbor, you parked outside the wrong house, your car looking suspicious, we calling each other. And I'll be the first one. Miss Barbara, and Miss Barbara, oh, she's a 70-year-old, going on 80-year-old gangster. Miss Barbara, you know that car right there? No, I don't know that car, right? We all got driveways. So when you go outside, we all got driveways, my nigga. You think you gonna come up here? We don't have garbage all over the place. We got garbage day, my nigga. You think you gonna have garbage all over the place? You think I spend all this money on these Benzes? On these Benzes. You see this Benz right here? That's one. This for 2025 right here. I had to create different. Like, do you think Benzes, never Benz? You think you gonna come out here? You're gonna come out here. This is the garbage can, right? It's garbage day. Do you see any garbage anywhere out here?
No,
You
sir.
see the neighborhood? It's
Yeah.
only one car parked on the street. One car parked on the street. Everywhere else that you see out here, look at the neighborhood. This is what you call living. You won't see no niggas standing on the corner. Niggas talking about, oh, he don't come outside. I'm outside right now. I'm outside right now. So because it ain't 1,000 niggas standing on the block, I'm not outside. I'm outside right now. Look at my bike. I'm outside right now. In neighborhoods like this, we not tolerating that shit. We not tolerating that shit. I'm not trying to sell you the hood. You know why? Because I woke up and I realized there's more to life than the hood. Let me see if I can turn this camera around. Well, I can't turn it. I don't know how to turn it around right now, but I don't be so like. Look, let me show y'all something, man. See that right there? When I went to Miami and Puerto Rico and places like that, I realized that I don't have to be in the hood and I can bring paradise to me. I had this house before I got on YouTube, but I upgraded the fuck out of this house. That's expensive ass koi fish swimming in there.
Look good. Look good too, Haas. Look nice, man.
Come on, man. I got a living room in my yard. My whole yard is decked out.
Yeah.
It's a little mess right now, and this is just to inspire, not to brag, but to show people we don't have to tolerate that. This is what my background looked like. I'm gonna go back in because my neighbor's dogs is barking. But yeah, come on, I got a man cave. I didn't spend all this money to have the hood come up here.
Right.
And Hassan, I get that, and I totally understand that. What I am speaking of, even at the time in our people's most challenging points, we may not have had a lot, but what we had was clean. If you and your brother had to share a jacket, if you had to share clothing for a period of your time, you made sure it was creased, it was still presentable. And we started with hip hop. There was a line in Biggie Smalls' rap that I think people didn't appreciate. Do y'all remember this? Same number, same hood. It's still all good. You know what that made people feel? That made people understand no matter how big, how rich he got, the core of who I am didn't change. Same number, same hood. It's still all good. I ain't had to
Biggie,
run for
Yo,
my
Herman. But Herman, I don't agree with that nonsense either.
listen,
When you
Biggie
get
died. Biggie died a young dumb nigga. Biggie wouldn't be thinking the same way 30 years later. He was a young dumb nigga, just like Mobb Deep said. As long as I live, I'm never getting out the projects. Them niggas don't live in the projects no more. You'll
right,
never even see. You ain't gonna see Havoc over there in the projects at this
right,
point in time. So you quoting something that a little kid said as old as you are. You
right,
come on, Herman.
Well, let
right.
me let me explain. Now, listen to what you just said. You said this is so beautiful how we come full circle. You said when you can't do anything else, use your word. Use your word to speak against evil. Use your word to identify and to do righteous. Now, all I'm saying, you're right in their actual living address, but I'm saying it is a cry of unity and a cry of pride because everyone ain't going to be running immediately out of. So if my mass of my people are going to be in a situation, that if I said, no, I'm never leaving, maybe that's spiritually, I'm never leaving you. Mentally, financially, I'm going to never leave you. So it's not just the address. So same number, same hood is bigger than that. It's a cry of unity. I'm gonna be with my people while they're struggling. It's not how far I can get away from them and how many cars I got and how
No,
much I can.
no, Herman.
Herman, you
Hold on,
sound stupid.
hold on, Herman. I agree, man, because I agree with Hassan. You sound crazy right now because the truth of the matter is, it's your own people that's gonna get you, Negro. It's the own ones that's gonna get you because of jealousy. Because you got what they don't got, but they want it and they don't know how to get it, so they're gonna get it from you. And that's the truth of it, man.
Let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you something that I've learned, right? When you get to a certain level in life and you don't get out of the hood is going to destroy you because
Yep.
now you surrounded by people that you done surpassed and they see that you surpassed, or you have to suppress your level of success because they're gonna come get you. So now you gotta hide. Who wants to live like that? When I got shot in Bronx River, I deserved it, but at the same time, I didn't. I put myself in a situation where they sent the most dirtiest, raggediest little nigga to hit me, and that was like, let's just say I decided that I want to go ride out. I'm gonna tear this nigga up when I catch him, right? If I get caught in the process of going after this dude, the dude that shot me, I throw my whole life away over
Yep.
a throwaway, a nigga that wasn't worth shit to anybody out there. After the little nigga shot me out there, they beat the nigga. They was beating him up just to show him he wasn't nothing because this is what they put him up to do. Nigga got whipped out in the same. How you have the balls to shoot a nigga on camera in front of everybody and then turn around and have niggas whip you out and don't shoot none of them? I got shot by a throwaway. When you go back to Bronx River or you go back to the hood and you stay in that environment, you cannot go from being a caterpillar to a butterfly because once you start flourishing like that butterfly, the caterpillars is going to eat you alive. You have certain energies in the hood that thrive off of destroying the hood. And when you shine your light and show people that you're a beacon of light, evil is going to devour you. It's going to devour you. It's not going to let you flourish around that. So you have to get out because the environment was the trap. The trap has been set. We don't put like, listen, man, until we can take over, first and foremost, let's look at Christopher Columbus, right? I call these niggas the Christopher Columbus niggas because Christopher Columbus came to the black community with what? Smallpox and blankets. Smallpox and blankets. The nigga brought you diseases to kill you. What do these rappers do? They come to the hood with turkeys and book bags. Turkeys and book bags. Then they give you the lyrics that lead your children to the penitentiary in an early grave, and you sit up there eating and taking a turkey of smallpox.
Mm.
All they did was flip the switch. These niggas is like the next nigga that brings you a turkey or a book bag, shoot him. The next nigga that brings you a turkey and a book bag in a hood, turn his TV off. Especially if he's one of those dudes that's actually in the studio writing lyrics that's actually leading your children to an early death in the early grave. The reason why most of these 50-year-old rappers you don't see dropping music no more, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Rock Kim, even Nas and them, you know why? Because now there's nothing to talk about. When you hit 40 and 50 years old, life is boring. It's boring. What are you going to talk about? Retirement plans? Going to get your colon checked? Making sure you ain't got cancer? What is you talking about? Preparing to meet your ancestors on the other side? What are we talking? Nope, that's boring. So now I got to do this dumb shit like Mano, right? Tell me you love me so you could go Bible, Bible, Bible. Tell me you love me so we could go Bible. Nigga, we 40, 50, and 60 years old. Who the hell is talking about tell me you love me so we can go viral. That sounds like a child nursery rhyme. He's rapping to the children. Grown people not talking about that.
Hassan, what time you think is too old to be rapping? Like, what time you think we should hang it up and begin? Because when you look at the NBA players, before they retire, they already got true legitimate businesses going on. What time do you think the rappers need to hang it up, get a legitimate business now, and build off of the money that you have made? What time
Never.
is over?
I don't think a rapper should ever hang it up. I think what rappers need to do is what they want you to see. The labels spend billions of dollars to dumb us down. So if you one of them dumb down niggas that's gonna keep dumbing the children down, I think that the community should take you to the highest building and throw you off a roof. Now, when you get those grown rappers that start like we living in a day and a time where niggas like Elon Musk is talking about taking your consciousness and downloading it on the internet, right? Why we don't have rappers talking about that?
Right.
We got we got cars that drive themselves, right?
Yep.
We are living in like Rakim was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time, which made him special. Then Nas became that. Now you got rappers of today that's going backwards. When are we going to get the rappers that's going to rap about futuristic stuff and make it sound dope? Here's the time for niggas to become or bring out their creativity. Bring out your creativity. You can. I'm never going to put an age on hip hop because right now, if you bring out, let's say for example, when we sing Jadakiss, go at the locks. I mean, go at Dipset. That was one of the most classic verses that you could ever see that had everybody across America just like, whoa, this was crazy. That feeling is it's never gonna go away. But until we have rappers that's willing to say, you know what, I don't care about what the industry is looking for or what the algorithm, Satan's algorithm of Gen is looking for. That music that's gonna wake people up, or that music that's gonna make you sit up there and think for half a day, like, yo, did you hear what he just said? I don't want to hear a 50-year-old man talking about tell me you love me so we could go viral. Who the is saying that? Who? Tell me you love when the last time you played that in your car? Tell me you love me so you could go viral. What? Who's saying that?
I ain't never play that.
Once you get a certain age, we go to the gym. You gonna play workout music. All right, I'm listening to some Tupac. I might even listen to some MOP. You know what I mean? Because you were war mode when you working out.
Right.
When you riding in the car with your children, you can't play the music of today.
Nope.
So now you got to go back to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's why when the little dirty nigga Zip with the drip sat up there and said the young kids ain't listening to the old heads, you're lying. Because the old heads play the music around the house that they live in. So they listening to music every day. They listening to, we influence our children on the music that we listen to. We do. The difference is we not listening to the things that our children is listening to. Because back in the days when I started playing NWA, my mother smacked the hell out of me and told me to turn it off. Because we run the house. So our children have no choice but to listen to what we listening to.
I asked you that question because how old you think we should be to hang it up? Because I'm looking at Jim Jones, and Jim Jones is too goddamn old to be so goddamn ignorant, bro. The stuff that he's doing on the internet, it just looks crazy to me when I see this. That's why I asked you how old. If you can't make a change, for example, let me give you an example. When you look at Minister Farrakhan has reached the height now. Say what the hell you want to say, Farrakhan. Go in like you did the Old Testament, Farrakhan. Bring that truth back and go out like a true champ. That's what Jim Jones and them. Look at Mace. Look at Mace and his partner, right? They moved out of the hood. They not in the hood. I like their podcast. What do you think about Cameron and Mace podcast?
Cameron and Mace.
Funny dudes, bro.
Just like Gilly and Wallow, even though I have my differences, it feels good to see them niggas in a position.
Yeah.
Especially Cameron and Mace, when you looking at Cam and Mace and you see they come from Harlem and they're not even trying to sell you Harlem. The niggas don't even want to go back to that shit because they realize we love where we come from, but there's an energy that destroys you there. So they don't sell you that. They get on TV. Sometimes they dressed up with they super ties and they showing you what grown men are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
They're giving you grown man energy and a hood at the same time. That's the beautiful thing about it. Them niggas is still hood. Mace is Mace is past the Mace, but at the same time, you getting that nigga swag, that hood swag. I love it. You can't go wrong with that.
With the views that you get, Hassan, and the truth that you speaks a lot of times, why do you think you haven't gotten a deal yet, brother? Like all these other people getting deals, why you think you ain't get a deal yet, man?
Because my voice is a threat and my spirituality is a threat. You know, even though these people they see, they recognize, they sent their agents, they sent their whack 100, they sent their academics, they sent their Takashi 69. Like certain things about me is just not going to. I come on. I grew up watching Bo run around with Khalid Muhammad, and that was a different experience for me. I've actually been around and seen Farrakhan and being with Africa Bambaataa, and even though there's certain things that I disagree with Farrakhan, when you look at the legacy of actually where the Nation of Islam is at and the caliber of men that man has shaped it and molded is like, whoa, the catalog is it's the Michael Jackson catalog of black people.
Ashe.
So it's the industry. Like it's like I tell people, I don't have no place in Satan's house. The children of God don't belong in Satan's house. I have no place there. I'd rather be independent and get the type of money. I remember one day when you asked me, right? You was like, "Yo, what was your biggest check?" And I said 10,000, and you looked at me and you said, "That's it."
Right.
The crazy part about it is, it wasn't until after that, when after my mother passed away, I was like, "Yo." I turned around and I looked. I was spiraling mentally. I was spiraling, and I put out my least amount of material. I got a 58,000 check. No, I got a $63,000 check on YouTube. I said, "What? What?" Turned around, got a $58,000 check. Looked like, oh shit. So YouTube is even with YouTube, and I say that to say this, right?
Yeah, hold
I'll
on.
put up a
To pass me because my highest was only 35. 35. That was the highest when I was in my prime on YouTube. My check was like 35,000, brother. I was like, damn.
I'm gonna teach you a trick on how to get your channel back, right?
Yeah.
What they doing to they started off with me. They minimizing my views now, especially on my lives.
Mm-hmm.
Now what you do is you see how you just got a lot of content out of me dealing with up-to-date topics.
Right.
Chop this up, this live up. After the live is done, you can probably let the live rock out, but then chop it up and put out pre-recorded, right? You put out your pre-records, the topics of who I'm talking about, tag them, tag 50 Cent. I'd rather put your hashtag in 50 Cent, tag me 50 Cent, tag the niggas like Say Cheese, tag the part when we talk about Charleston, like tag all that in that description. Where they ask you about their own, hashtag that in the description when you're talking about that, for one. For two, you want to get your money up again. Let's just say, for example, you averaging 10,000 views a day, right? 5,000, 10,000. Okay, y'all playing with my views because that's what they doing to you. Or sometimes some of the people that was watching us, they done died off. We getting old.
Mm-hmm.
Put up at least 10 videos a day. 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They tell you that they only give you 3 notifications, but that's bull crap. You're going to keep the people looking for your pre-recorded. Stop doing lives all the time. Start working on your pre-recordeds. Put at least, I don't care if it's 5 of them. Let me tell you something. They've been playing with me so much on my channel. And as soon as I break the algorithm and I get out of that, they put something back on my channel again, and I laugh because I said, okay, now I'm not doing no lives no more. I'm not giving niggas no live. You're not gonna have a nigga like me that's used to having minimum 5,000 people in the building. Now you're gonna make me struggle to have 2,500. I see what y'all doing. and the lives is what's affecting your pre-recorders. So now do your lives on another channel. Start putting your pre-recorders up and watch how they start climbing. Watch how they climb. If you
Mm.
listen, if you got a brother named Anton Daniels, right? Shout out to him. I started looking at his channel. The nigga put up a clip. He made $137,000 in 1 month. He showed the check.
Damn.
So I went to his channel and I started looking. Anton, just like no jumper in them, no jumper in them clips,
Right.
and Vlad, I started studying these niggas. Academics, I do a live for 8 hours straight. He'll take that live down and put up 30 videos in one day. At
Woo.
the end of the month, the Anton dude is putting up 20 videos on one channel a day. And on his other channels, still like he got backup channels and doing 10 videos on them. If you could do a live for 3 and 4 hours, imagine how many videos you got when you cut that into 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and start uploading that. So now you getting paid for your pre-recorded. See, YouTube might not want niggas to know that, but that's how, like for me, because I calmed down for a while. I was letting a week go by, 2 weeks go by without posting. And I said, why am I leaving money on the table? My check, my next check going towards for this month right here, or rather last month, my next check that I'm about to get is $21,000.
Yeah. That
I ain't
makes
playing no games.
check this out. Did you see the live with Cameron? Hold up. Did you see the live with Cameron and Vlad, bro?
Nah, I didn't see that.
Oh, you got to Haas, powerful, bro. You got to go see that because Vlad is talking about the same thing you talking about right now. How he blew up and how he got big. And he mentioned a few people,
It's crazy because Vlad said to me when I sat down with Vlad, he was like, "Yo," he said, "doing what you did, without the celebrities," he said, "I don't think I could have done that." Nigga said he told me. Vlad was like, "You a bad brother." Like, and yeah, it wasn't easy. That's why I remember when you sat up there, you said to me, "I'll never forget that." At the height of your career, you said, "Hassan Campbell, what do you bring to the table? We got all these brothers up here. What could you bring to the platform?" And I said, "My life experiences." And you laughed because you didn't realize it, because sometimes, like Brother Polite, for example, that brother brain is on the next level. But you got to be able to correlate to the people that's not on that level. You
Mhm.
got more people that's in elementary school that's in college. So if you can't get across to the people in elementary school, you're gonna find yourself with less people because there's not that many people that went to college. You got to be able to tap in with the dummies. Why do you think sometimes I dumb myself down? Like, there's things that I really, really want to talk about. I got to be sneaky about talking about it. That's why I use celebrity gossip as a way to sneak my truth and my message in. Because if you sat up there and you say, "Come on, black brothers and sisters," as soon as you say that, somebody gonna say, "Get that mumbo jumbo bull BS out of my." They don't want to hear it.
Real talk.
They don't want to hear it. So now you got to switch up your style. In order to stay relevant, you have to switch your style up. That don't mean you have to switch your message up. You just got to learn to sneak the shit in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I tell you, I'm not going to be outdone. Can I share my largest check?
Hey, one more minute, one more, Herman, because you throw the conversation off, and then I'm gonna let you rock. You can close this thing out. I definitely want to get into Charleston White, but before we get into Charleston White, do you think P. Diddy will ever come home again, or do you think he now set the tone, open up the doors for a lot of people that we thought was straight, found out that these dudes is all, dipping and dabbing and all kind of stuff, brother?
See, what Diddy is scary to me because they made it out to be the biggest, to be the biggest monster in the world.
Yeah.
But now when it's time to get to the finish line, it seems like bits and pieces are being chipped off of people that had things to say about him. They're being discredited. When in all actuality, it's been proven already. Like with Cat Williams, for example, when Cat Williams came out and told you that you got to tell Diddy no, he wasn't lying. So we got credible people that's actually telling you this nigga is the monster, but at the same time, it's starting to look like Diddy is going through a humiliation ritual, which is dangerous because if Diddy beats this case, it's a bad look for people coming out and really telling their stories about predators like Africa Bambaataa. Now it's going to be the question of, yo, if they did this to Diddy, is he lying about Africa Bambaataa? The nigga that never came to the forefront with an army and said, yo, these niggas is lying,
Mm.
who just hid? And Bam is watching. Oh, he watching nervous. But at the same time, you know what? He just know that he had there's so many more victims and there's so many more faces. He know he has to stay in the background the way that he stays in the background because it's over for him. Man, and how you can tell, you can look at him and tell he has strokes. One side of his face crooked from the other side. You can look at him and tell. I know him like the back of my hand. His reputation as a Muslim, his reputation as a black leader went in the garbage. He can never be seen the same way as he's been seen before ever again.
Right. Right. Damn.
So
Talk to me about Charleston White. When I first got exposed to Charleston White, I was saying to myself, I ain't bring it out loud, but I just said it. I said, yo, this dude, is he trying to be like Hassan Campbell? That's what I was saying to myself, because now he's attacking issues that most people don't even want to deal with either. He's like another side of a Hassan Campbell part two. What do you think about that?
well, you got to keep in mind, Charleston White was big on Facebook. His first videos that he did on YouTube was with me and on Infominds Timbo.
Right.
So when he actually came on YouTube, me and him was supposed to clash. But me listening to Lily, because I told her from the jump, I don't trust this nigga. Nah, he's a community activist. He's this, that, this, that. So I said, you know what? Instead of me clashing the nigga, I'm hearing good things about him. I'm gonna go against my spidey senses, and I'm gonna rock with Charleston White. Now,
And
when
then
people was first dissing Charleston White, right? They was dissing him and calling him full of it, and I said, nah, he's in character. I'm the first person that said that about Charleston White. I gave him that excuse. He's in character. He's saying negative because this is what I was doing. So now Charleston White took my antics. If you pay attention, why was Charleston White beefing with Jay Prince? They came after me.
right.
They came after me. Why was Charleston White beefing with Whack 100? He seen the blueprint that I set up on YouTube going at. There's two things that made Hassan Campbell. I was the first nigga in history on the internet to ever disrespect black gangs and black drug dealers. Nobody has ever done that before but me until Charleston White. And going against the music industry. Nobody's never done that. Everything that was wrong in the black community, black people always overlooked and act like we didn't see our own mess. I was the first person to do that. So Charleston White seen my lane and he mimicked it. And Jaguar Wright did the same thing. It ain't just Charleston White. Jaguar Wright came in the same lane and did the same exact thing. Now you got it's like on the internet. I brought the streets to YouTube. That's another thing I did. I made it to where that street niggas wanted to come on the internet. Me
Yeah.
and partially Queen's Flip. Because street niggas was looking at us on podcasters as bozos. They had no respect for us. Now everybody got a podcast. Everybody and their mother. Every jail nigga that came home from jail is looking at this stage and they sitting up there doing videos, and most of them coming at me talking trash about me. But how you gonna come at a nigga that inspired you?
But
Y'all
Hassan,
niggas would.
you got to look at it like this too. They using your name so as a come up, brother. That's probably why they doing that, just so that they can get the hits and the views. So that's why they will put your name in that title. You see?
See, the thing about it is though is when I came on YouTube, you was one of the giants. You, Tommy Sotomayor, right? sa.neter always had his own lane, the conscious community.
Right.
When I came to YouTube, I built myself to be so impactful, like because it took time for me to build. I had my own lane. All of these niggas that's coming on YouTube is coming up under my umbrella, and it's getting annoying because now when it boils down to topics, they're thinking like Hassan Campbell. What topic will he do next? They just not going to break it down the way I break it down because they not me. But they following like, so now when you look at this section that I created over here, it's like, okay, it's getting watered down because now you got 100,000 niggas doing the same thing. So who wants to watch the same video from after you get to the 20th, 25, 30th person? Is like, all right, I'm not watching this again. This is the problem. People don't have no originality. That's why
Right.
I'm about to switch up lanes again. You know, like for example, what you see me doing, or I'm trying, I'm giving a try, I'm doing my own little, let's say 106 and Park and what MTV rap. I come from I come from the home of hip hop, with the Mecca, the Bronx, New York, period. And I see a lot of dudes that I know standing around rappers that won't even share them on Instagram.
When I
They just
seen when I seen you come at the Chicago crew and the mother of Duck, was it Duck Mother?
FBG Duck.
Yeah, when I seen you go at them, I ain't gonna front, Haas. I was like, oh my God, Hassan is crazy. This nigga, I said, yo, man, you are crazy. These dudes over here don't be playing. And I seen you go at them, and then next thing you know, Charleston White following right behind you, bro.
The blueprint. He that Charleston White has no originality. But what I will say is, if you look at Charleston White, right? Charleston White has looked at Hassan Campbell's lives and went on bigger platforms and stole my whole formula.
Yep.
So now you on a bigger platform and you took the best of Hassan Campbell and ran with it. So it's like, oh, this is the illest nigga in Nebraska. Like, no, he just keeps stealing my shit.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps stealing my shit. I sat up there. I'll give you an example. I was talking about how, back in the days where I thought domestic violence was just normal because I see my uncle throw his girl down a full flight of steps and then they be in a room having sex. This nigga went on a platform and said what I said word for word. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you just taking everything that I say. You see what I'm saying? With me talking about me breaking down in the black community, like dudes need to stop having sex. You ain't got no business having sex if you can't provide for a child. Then you go on, you hear him going on different platforms. You're saying the same. You take it. It's like, so now when I say it, now you steal it from Charleston White. No, because why? Because Charleston White ran to bigger platforms, or because I wasn't smart enough at the time to actually break down my lives and start putting up the reels all over the place. So now if I start putting up my reels, it's like, oh, you got it from Charleston White. No, he got it from me. Charleston White has no identity. Some of the things that he's saying and he's doing on the internet, no real man brags about raping a woman or anybody, period. Then you see him you see him on the stand testifying like Charleston White is the worst piece of filth that it like a person when you can't stray away from who you really are as a person. The only thing that you can see that Charleston White really, really is CIA and partially an old fiend. You can still see he got traits of being a fiend.
Mm.
So where somebody cleaned that nigga up.
All right, Herman. Go ahead, Herman.
Okay, well, again, you brothers were comparing checks, so I thought I would, join the check comparison. And the largest check, brothers, I got, man, the biggest check I got was $0.00. And you know why that is? Because I've never gotten a check. I've never been monetized. When I came to YouTube, I saw it as a vehicle, much as with hip hop, that again, I saw it birthed from its earlier stages. I saw the same kind of ingredients, but I knew from the get-go, when the devil pays you, the devil sways you. And I've seen so many brothers damn near have nervous breakdowns when they decide to yank that monetization. They do a whole bunch of tap dancing and looking for a biscuit. So let's be mindful of who's sending those checks out. And when they want to redirect your message, as gangster as we think we are, we get shadow banned in a moment. So if the dollar, if the material, again, the prize of capitalism, if that's all we're adopting, bigger houses, more cars, more bling, but not understanding that we're all up in the matrix. We didn't even get to Kanye yet. But those are one of the jams. He said the red and the blue pill. There's so much is going on. All we do, we forcing about how much money we got. His money with his faces on it. And his system is getting ready to collapse. That's the thing I admire about your content, brother. You're the only one, very few speak about survivalism. You say yourself, how many of y'all know how to live off the grid? You talked about putting restaurants up at the top of projects. So, brother, I've been following you and listening to you. So I know you go different places. But both you brothers get locked down on this materialism like a bigger check is the only thing that we in this for. And the other part of that is just understanding that is this a calling for you to do whether they take a check or not, or when they take your money or when they change your money, you change your message. And I ask both of you that.
All right, let me say this right.
Herman crazy.
You know what you sound like. I'm gonna
Right.
tell you what you sound like to me, right? You sound like them dudes that be sitting up there talking about what's money. Money ain't everything, right? I'm gonna tell you what money is, right? Money is power, right? Money is the car on that bill. Money is the gas that moves the car. Money is that food that's in that refrigerator, right? And see, my whole thing is right. When you ain't got money, you ain't got no power. If let's just say, for example, everything's shut down right now because of an earthquake, right?
You just bought a new car, huh? You just bought a new car. Go ahead, Hoss. Go ahead.
So my whole thing is right. I save for a rainy day and I prepare for a rainy day. Y'all seen my monetization go off. They took my monetization, right? For no reason. Took my monetization. And y'all seen me, right? Y'all watching on the internet. You remember Lily, right? You sa.neter, right? You see that big ass house that she living in? You see what I'm saying? So now when you preparing that's from university all the way to the suburbs now, mini mansion. So now when you sit back and you analyze these things got to be paid for. If we have a small earthquake right now, how many months can you go and pay your rent or keep up with your bills and keep food on the table? How long? I say you're supposed to save for a rainy day. A rainy day to me
Point.
is
Good.
making sure you can pay your bills for at least the whole year without an income. So now instead of you, like how I say, thank you for sponsoring this war, you have nothing to leave behind to your family except excuses of why you didn't want to get no money off of YouTube because they could sway you. Like nigga, they not swaying me because I learned to get incognito and I learned to hide my message behind celebrity gossip. While meanwhile, you sit up there talking about I made zero checks. So if let's just say for the last 10 years you being on YouTube, let's just say you would have accumulated $10 million. What could you have done with that $10 million except for making these excuses for why you ain't getting money?
Right.
What are you leaving behind to your family outside of those clothes that you got on and the vehicle that you just bought that they probably not even gonna be able to pay for? And you make an excuse. Money is power. And if you don't have no money, you gotta go sit your ass at the table with the little children and let the grown folks talk.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. Ain't that?
No. All money is good money when ain't nothing going on with the rent. Tell the landlord that, my nigga. Tell the landlord that all money ain't good money. Tell that the car, your leasing on your car. Tell the bank that all money ain't good. The bank don't want to hear that shit. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. Every dollar in my pocket is a good dollar. Every dollar.
Mm.
That's child. That's child. That's child talk. That's child talk.
That's right.
That grown broke people taught other grown broke people to say. It's so childish.
Facts. Come on, Herm. You got to grow up a little bit, brother.
I mean, because if all we want, if our ultimate goal is material gain,
But nobody said that's all we want, though, Herm. Nobody said that. If you putting your life on the line and you bringing jewels to your people, brother, that's what I want. I love doing what I do, but I also want to get compensated. They got to eat somehow. We got to pay these bills like Hassan is saying. Come on, Herm.
Hold on. So you telling me, right? You one of them niggas that believe that black people got to die to get paradise while white people have paradise on this earth?
Go ahead.
I refuse to see that there's people that's actually living a good life and not want my piece of the pie. And I refuse to have a nigga like you get on this internet and convince me. You trying to trick me out of my piece of the pie. You telling me not to get my piece of the pie, that I should be in poverty and pain like the rest of the people that don't want nothing out of life. When I'm sitting back and I'm seeing the Jeffersons, we're moving on up. Like, hold up. You got black people that's living good. And you got your old ass up here trying to convince me to live bad. I like having a koi fish. I'm sitting across looking in my kitchen, and I got koi fish swimming in my kitchen in a tank. I refuse to go back to anything less. I refuse. I accumulated money in my pocket to show my kids that they don't have to accept bullshit. They
Facts.
don't have to accept the fact that we can't make something out of our lives. I'm not rich, but I ain't poor neither. And you ain't not you or anybody else gonna convince me to be broke. Bro,
Respect.
being broke in today's time is disrespectful, especially when you got children
Right.
playing video games and making $10,000 and $20,000. They making the kind of money that our grandparents wish they could have made. You got children making $10,000 and $20,000 off of playing video games, and then you got old niggas like you that won't even go get them a computer and say, "Yo, here's your computer, here's your PlayStation 5, here's your controller. Let's get this bag."
Did you know that? Did you know that, Herman? That these kids on the internet is playing games and they're getting paid. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, money has always been Satan's tool. That's
So
why.
you
Again,
let's see what it is.
can I finish this authoritative?
You want to be, Herman, you want to be a poor righteous teacher.
No, may I
Yo,
speak for a
all right.
moment because you broke your gave a lot. And brothers, and I understand. Come on now, where am I? I'm in the middle of New York. Grew up in New York, so come on. I'm not sitting here not understanding the dynamics of being secure financially and putting
What kind of
oneself.
cars that you driving?
A pretty nice one, but can I finish this thought now? And I totally get it. We must be mindful, brother. It's just a balance. Because now, brother Hassan, I know that you are a Muslim, correct?
Yes.
And I know sa.neter, he goes, he probably has, several others or none. But the things that we speak of that are germane to us, that we claim these books, Bibles, Quran, and then we won't. I haven't heard a word. It hasn't a holy day recently ended. I mean, don't you want to bring other brothers to you, shining from that light spiritually, or
So
are we
here,
supposed
hold on, hold on. I'm glad you said that.
Let me finish with this. Or are we supposed to come to you because of how many cars you got, how big your
All
house
right.
is?
Okay. So now here it is. You the one doing the interview, and you set the stage to talk about nigga shit, and then towards the end of the interview, gonna try to pull a slick card and ask me why am I not talking about Islam? Because nigga, you didn't ask a question about Islam. You see how that worked? The whole thing that you wanted to talk about that you told me before this interview was Kanye West. But out of nowhere, because you like, I don't think you. I don't know. Maybe you need to take your medicine. You're a little senile or something like that. Because it's like, how you gonna ask me about questions that you didn't ask me? You didn't, because I have things to say about that kind of stuff too. I might not be a scholar in it, but I know the foundation of it. You didn't go down that lane. You wanted to talk the nigga shit, and you lost.
What is your
You
thought,
were
Hassan, on foundational Black Americans, the FBA? What is your thoughts on that? Do you think that's division, that's dividing us up as a people? What are your thoughts on
I
that?
I think we need to be divided as a people because we all not going in the same direction. Like you got to understand something, right? Everybody don't want the same things, so we not like we like how they saying. All right, put it like this: you got niggas in the hood that the foundational Black brothers and sisters, they know that they can't use their voice the way I do in the hood because all of them would be dead within a month. Hood niggas is going to tear them to pieces. So if you give the foundational Black America a piece of the pie, they own land, once they get there, the first conversation is that they're gonna say, we can't let them real niggas and them bad bitches over here. It's over for us. We can't. because if you let them in, they're going to destroy everything that you're trying to build. They live off of ignorance. Foundational Black America is trying to be the voice of the people, the good voice of the people. I'm
Mm.
not talking about I'm not talking about the poverty pimps that made their way on the internet. I'm talking about the real conscious community, the people that want better and they want to do better. They cannot, and we cannot. You have people that just like we're not going in the same direction. Another example. One of the reasons why I voted for Trump or push people to vote for Trump, I'm not saying that he's not a bad guy or good guy. He's the lesser of the evil. If where we come from, homosexuality, pedophilia, having sex changes is an abomination. To take a child and give the child a right to snip your private parts, having young girls cut off their breasts so that they can look like boys is insanity. And when you set rules where the parents can't stop these children from doing that, and we don't even have the power to fight this, I had to go with Trump. So whereas I had an argument with one of my uncle Dow, I love him to death. And I didn't really get a chance to finish the argument with him because I had to let him just talk his talk out of respect and let him talk his talk. You know, he's a senior citizen. And my whole thing is you being a man that calls you claim Christianity. In the Bible, that's forbidden. In the Quran, that's forbidden. So when you have Christian women and Muslim men and women going against Trump on that specifically, you're actually going against the laws of your God, which is shirk or blasphemy. When you're going against the laws of your God and you're denouncing it, and you're so sick with it. In my community, if I was at foundational black or me just being somebody that's conscious and I want to get away from the nigga shit, first and foremost, not one little boy will be walking around with a dress. Not one little boy will be walking around with a dress. We're not doing that. And this is why I say we have to be separated because you have some people that feels like they didn't have a daughter, so their little boy is going to be their daughter. And they're going to put a little girl's name on the birth certificate. I'm not with that.
Yeah, Herman, what do you think about that FBA?
And that's I mean, who can argue with the bulk of what he said?
Right.
And so guys, we already coming up, we over hour and a half. We ain't even touched Kanye yet. But I'm gonna dip in there because Kanye said one time during what they call a rant, a person's gut. He said, I'm speaking to people's gut. That's where I'm coming from. I think Trump, whether you like him or not, he's speaking to people's gut. And I'm not saying this in judgment of another human being, but most of us instinctively know nature has a flow. And nature has a flow. It has a balance. And that balance starts in every stage in nature of it. So if for you, whenever you start stepping away from that, that cannot be going to be pleasing to any God that you serve from any book. And Trump tapped into that. That's even not even Republican, Democrat. So, but the Democrats, I think they were trying to continue to broaden their tent. So they'll just add bigger, bigger. Hey, let's add this group. Let's add that. Let's be their champion without really taking a critical look at times at what goes with that. When you start bending and changing these rules of nature and then putting laws behind them. So that's not even a Democrat. But now, Hassan, I will ask you this, and definitely with the I can respect that being big enough to sway you, but there are other things that went along with a Trump vote, and then with members of your family in the Latino community, you see how ICE is going down on innocent, hardworking people and having them locked up and shipped to different countries just because of a particular tattoo, and they can show that these people have been working and providing for their families. So now, again, it was that enough, or did you see that coming as well? Are you pleased with the tactics that this administration is having?
See, here's the thing. Once again, that brings me back to Tamika Mallory and my song, right? When you seen that the government went to El Salvador and all these other different places and released rapists and all types of criminals into the black community, into our community, then you watched on the news one of them savages. took a belt, wrapped it around a woman's neck, dragged her in between the car, and had his way with her. And none of these activists had anything to say about this. So what they did was they rigged the race. They took what black people have been begging for, reparations, and gave it to illegals who jumped the border illegally to sabotage a presidency. And that right there was treason within our communities. But now when he decides that he's going to clean it up and he's going to use the law, right? See, in the law, it means that if you're here illegally and you had enough time to get your shit together, you should have got it together. Now you fall up under the law. You over here, you working, but you ain't supposed to be here. No, I don't like it. It's it is what it is. They have to go. They came here for the wrong reasons. And the money that they're spending, that's coming out of us tax people. That's our money that paid for them to come over here. They reaping benefits of things that we not reaping the reward for. No, it's time to go.
So you have no regrets. You see no irony of again, these are people that are here with families, many of them. Some of them are in the process of having papers already in the system for asylum. They escaped a war-torn region. So some of them here legitimately, but they just got snatched up in that net. And now you see how they're parading those people around. In my mind, I think they got institutions like that in Libya too, because Libya got open slavery. Slavery is still here. I mean, the world is in a desperate state. So you don't see you don't no conflict within you to know that a human being can be
Listen,
stabbed.
I spoke out against that, and I speak out against that. But when you get on the airplane, the first thing the pilot tells you is put that mask on your own face first. We got too many problems in the black community that we have to deal with, and even with them coming to America and reaping the reward and the benefits that they reaped when they came over here, more so over us. These people that's coming over the border, they never standing outside in solidarity with us when we going through our pain and our struggle. They do not care. They don't even like us. So no, I'm not going to use my voice but so much for them when we have our own problems. I will tune in from time to time to say, yo, I don't like this. But in all actuality, sometimes we got to just get as cold hearted as everybody else. No, my heart got to become a rock until I fix the situation that my people was going through. Because one thing people are failing to realize is that this spell of being a real nigga and a bad bitch has been cast over the black community, and it's getting so bad that even in the suburbs with middle class people, their children are being kidnapped by this ignorance. And we are not elevating, we're not becoming scientists, we're not becoming the people that's going to take this to where how Star Trek say we're boldly going where no man has ever gone before. I need to know if Elon Musk is building iRobots, right? And we don't watch movie like the Terminator, right? I need to know how to control these robots because they could be a weapon for us or a weapon against us. In
Right.
slavery, we didn't have guns. Now we have all the guns in the world. You're gonna tell me that you gave Nat Turner a Glock with a switch where he could shoot 30 shots at one time? And somehow the evil slave master done figured out how to flip a switch and make us pull that Glock on each other. Not even us so much, our children against our children. And as parents, none of us is smart enough to know how to stop them. We can't even figure out how to stop our children from scoring points on each other. But we sitting up here having a conversation about border jumpers and what we should be doing for them. Right now, we supposed to be figuring out. We're supposed to have a roundtable figuring out who can infiltrate Elon Musk and his schools so that we can learn how to be on the same level as they are. If niggas is sitting up there building nuclear bombs, where's ours? If niggas is sitting up there building jet fighters, where's ours? If niggas is having doomsday bunkers to make it, because black people are like roaches. We don't die, we multiply, but we are gonna die. The world, the reset button is gonna start again. They're gonna hit that reset button again. We have to make sure we have a future. We can't sit back and keep worrying about what's going on with the Mexicans and the Ecuadorians and this one and that one. We have to figure out when that reset button is hit, Who's going to be the next generation of people that's going to get on our doomsday bunkers? Who's going to be the elders, or who's going to be the youth that's going to carry us into the future of what this world or this new world order has to offer? We're not prepared for that right now. We're not having that conversation. We're seeing celebrities indirectly telling you. Rick Ross, one day his cows broke out of his farm. And he got animals running around all over the highways. He's indirectly telling you. He can't wake you up. He can't tell you what's coming, but he's indirectly telling you. Kanye West, he's showing you right away he's moving. He's not showing you a mansions no more. He's showing you that he don't have nowhere to live. You know why? Because you're supposed to, in the last days, you got to live your life as if you're passing by. Because the earth is talking. North Carolina is dealing with what? What they just went through in the South. Hurricanes, mudslides that wiped out whole towns that you don't hear them talking about. Hawaii had storms that mysteriously had brains. And these storms was just going to house after house after house, making them explode. But the funny part about it is the trees wasn't burning, but the fire is supposed to came from nature. Make that make sense. And all of the houses that had blue tops on it or blue toppings didn't burn. So we're sitting up here watching places having, like, we are so broken down mentally. We are watching apocalyptic events happening right in front of our faces. And we don't feel the urgency to run to those people or go see. We're not taking our cameras to these places and saying, yo, we're going to get some footage one way or another so we can wake up the rest of the people. And even if we did, they don't care. We are
Like the video, thumb up the video. Oh man,
we are living in the signs of that when you read the Bible, right? Whether you believe it or not, we are actually living in times where, think about it, Si, and I think about this all the time. When people talk to me about history, I don't believe history no more. Because somewhere where they're leaving out in history is that this technology that we dealing with has been here from the beginning of time. And through history, they're hiding that. We have, in the day and time we living in, right? If you ask people that's living right now how history played out right now with Trump, Kamala Harris, or even with these earthquakes, right? With these sightings of these fake ass UFOs, when you read different books, you're gonna have different personalities recording different things, and you're gonna be like, all right, who do we believe? Right now. So now when we going back and we reading these books, who wrote these books based off of history that keep leaving technology out? You got what they call a Sentinel Island right now, where you have people that's primitive. They running around and with leaves on them, right? And they keep showing you this island where if you try to go over there, they kill you. They shoot bows and arrows at you, right? Then we living in a day and a time right now where we got advanced technology, where 30 years ago, talking to each other through this TV screen was some shit that you seen on TV and none of us believed it. So right now in front of our places, in our faces, there's different lands that's untouched with civilization, and then there's different places that they're not showing us that we've never been to that has advanced technology, but they keep telling you they're aliens. No, you got a galactic universe out there. You got galactic people. You got cities up under the oceans that we've never seen. You got landmass over there in Antarctica where they will not allow you to go. These people are not dealing with alien not technology. We're dealing with advanced civilizations. And it's crazy how through slavery, they selling us this mumbo jumbo back to Africa bull crap. All of us did not come from Africa. We have pyramids over here in America. Why nobody wants to talk about these pyramids in America and Mexico? We have more pyramids in America than over there in Egypt, aka Kemet.
yeah.
They're not telling us that.
Hold on, let me say something. Truth, Star, you letting dude off the hook. All right, let me tell you, brother. sa.neter didn't bring Hassan over here to debate him. I brought the brother over here to interview him. That's why you don't see me going back and forth with him. It's an interview. You got to know what an interview is. I'm not here to debate the brother and argue his points. I agree with damn near everything he's saying right now, a lot of his points. So there it is right there. I didn't bring Hassan over here to debate him. but to interview him. What part you don't understand? All right. Now let me ask you, Haas, are you open for any questions? Are you open for questions or what, brother?
I'm definitely open for I'm open for questions.
All right, family. The link is in the
I can't
chat.
be scared of the people.
I want you to keep the questions on the topic. We dealing with hip hop. We dealing with Kanye, and you already know. Don't come in with no disrespect, because I'll just delete you and let you get up out of here. But if you have the opportunity now to ask the brother a question, and we want to keep it on the topic. So, go ahead. You can continue talking, Haas, until we get people to come in.
Yeah. So where do we go? Where do we go from here when we know that the earth is going through some changes? We know that we living in the signs of the times. We are seeing prophecies happen in front of us, but the only twist to it is when you read the Bible or the Quran and you see how God destroyed the lands. And I'm sitting back and I'm analyzing and I'm like, yo, in today's time, man has the power of God. Things that people question in the Bible, like, nah, this stuff is fake. We actually have the power to make it rain. In the desert over there in Saudi Arabia, right now, there's green grass in the desert because they started cloud seeding, right? When you sit back and you look at the miracles that's being performed by man, it has me. It really really has me thinking. We moving towards smart cities, right? Smart cities. They say, well, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. In order for us to own nothing and be happy, that means something catastrophic is getting ready to happen, right? In order for them to be building smart cities, the old cities is going to be destroyed. They're not telling you that. So when you own nothing and you be happy, by the time they finish with these earthquakes, with these tsunamis, by the time they finish with World War III, which is something that's being orchestrated where they making you believe that they really at war with these governments is really at war with each other. No, the war is amongst the people. The population is getting too big. So now it's our time to figure out how to pass the torch because through slavery, what they told us was slavery. I don't believe in slavery. It never existed. There was a war going on but amongst people. Slavery never existed. There was a war going on. They're not going to tell you that it was a war going on. So what happened somewhere in that war, we lost that war. And then we was enslaved. We were prisoners of war. We wasn't just stolen off of a land. No, lands was invaded. And when you kill a library, most of us can't even tell you. We don't even know what our great grandfather was like. Those stories have been erased for a reason. Imagine if we actually sat down around instead of watching TV and we sat down and we actually learned what our great grandparents actually saw and they experienced, and we went through every detail and we passed that down. There was a reason why they erased us or erased that. There's a reason why they put us in these classrooms throughout the day, take us away from the sun, set us in darkness. And in New York, we know most of the time throughout the school year, it gets dark at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Now, when you're going home, you have no sun. Your vitamin D is deficient. You can't think straight. You're a slave. By the time you get you're so stressed out in your home or through the community with your family, you're going through so much. But before you know it, you still trying to survive your childhood and you on your deathbed. You still ain't you 50 and 60 years old. You still ain't even get over your childhood.
Mm. All
How are
right.
we going to prepare for the next generation?
All right. Peace. Tut TV. What's going on, brother? You have a question?
Salute. Yeah, I got a question. Salute to you, Ha. Salute to you, Sa. Yeah, you mentioned earlier that pretty much everything we were told about history is a lie. So if that's the case, what is the timeline of events would you say that led us up to here if the history that they gave us was a lie?
If you want to, if you going off of where I'm going off of, the only thing I can go off is the crack era. I'm not like anything outside of the crack era, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. I'm not accepting it. And I know a lot of people are going to get upset because they did a lot of hard studying. But the truth of the matter is, if you can't lead me back to where you like for example, right? You have a lot of information that's coming out on TikTok and Instagram, and they showing you history about the mudslides, right? They taking you to Earth and places on this Earth in this country and other countries and showing you buried civilizations that was more advanced than us. These civilizations have been left out of history, and they've been left out of history for a reason. So now, based off of actually seeing ancient civilizations, or better yet, when you look at the trees, for example, right? You got trees, tree stumps the size of mountains that shows us that there was actually gigantic trees and gigantic people in the past. This has been left out of history. So now, if I got to go back and look at history, according to who is the question that I'm gonna ask? I don't have to accept history no more because the history that we're being taught is all a lie.
Yeah, so are you familiar with any of the teachings of the Moors?
Very little.
Well, I would suggest like check out Asir, the Duke of Tears. He goes into a lot of ancient history, or what I would say is the history that they don't tell us about. Like right now, you see a lot of videos about Tartaria. You mentioned the mud floods and everything, but I tend to agree with you on the whole belief that we as a people, we were actually prisoners of war. And then what they're calling plantations was just places where if we were captured, they would bring us there and pretty much give us the information of, wiping out everything that we were told. And even when you look at a lot of the religious, like how they say the religions are, but when you look back at the old paintings, it seems like everybody in the Bible was black. So I do believe that you're onto something with that. And I think you should definitely check out Asir. He goes into a lot of that. But I'm gonna get up off here now. Thanks for being on the show, Ty.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Duke of Tears, yeah, he's the truth. Asir don't play, he goes in. Herman, you back, Herman? You got the baby, Herman?
Yes, and I know you was talking trash about Obama phones and trying to, talk bad about your brother, but that's okay. I still love you anyway.
You picked up the baby, Herman?
No. I have to pick her up in about 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But now, have you all spoken about press play yet, Brother Hassan? Have you told him that you're featuring young artists?
Well, the press play thing that I'm trying to do is pretty much giving brothers an opportunity to be seen on a big stage. I mean, I'm not the biggest, but at the same time, a lot of people are talented out there and they chasing their dreams, and it's like I'm sick and tired of what the industry want us to watch and what they bring to the table. And some of the music ain't gonna be for everybody. But at the same time, I try to mix and put a blend in. Lord, I can't been saying stay woke. No time for sleeping. The enemy's creeping, and we can't defeat him unless we stay woke. So there's a message in that glass bottle, but everybody's not going to want to hear that.
Very true.
You
And
gotta pick.
I was there for the maiden voyage, your first press play. And I just want to share a little part of what my experience was. One of the artists that you featured, he came out, his music was nice, but again, it was a Ferrari, it was a stack of money, it was a lot of things that suggested wealth and success. So I wrote that. But guess what? The brother wrote me back. He said, well, not me directly, but in the comment, he responded and he said, paraphrasing, brother, that's not my only, that's one. I got other things that deal with some of the things you spoke of. And he dropped the link. I went to the link and I saw some stuff. And this brother, that versatility, but I made the mistake of just judging him on what his first piece of art that he put before us. So I just wanted to say that's something you got to continue to do, man, and just show a variety of what our young men are coming up with.
But you know what though? What pisses me off about you, Herman Smalls, is that you dangerous and you're a threat to yourself because black people like you would ask for reparations, right? But then when you got a black artist that's sitting up there rapping about money and he's showing you the things that money can buy, and he's showing you that he's getting money. Which one is it? Do you want reparations? Or are you with money or are you against money? Because the reality of it is, I don't know what world you living in, but you need money to survive. And you keep talking about like you keep talking as if you hate money, but you driving in a nice car. I see your sunroof. You're contradicting yourself, my nigga. You driving a nice car. You got a nice sunroof. That car has to be paid for.
Right.
You can't like you acting like getting money is like having AIDS.
You know what
And you
it is?
should
What it is because he's not getting money off YouTube, he's getting money somewhere else, you know, and he feel that way is better than, you know, what everybody else is doing. But if he was getting money on YouTube and he needed to pay his bills and all the other stuff and take care of all the other stuff, he wouldn't be saying that. He's saying that now because his money coming from somewhere else. So Herman do need money because he wouldn't be working and getting up every day doing what he got to do to get the money.
Yeah, you hate money so much. Go get a tent. Listen, go get a tent. Go live in Tent City and eat out the garbage cans if you don't like money.
Right. Go pick up
Right.
bottles.
I've done a horrible job at presenting my position. So let me make another attempt. Of course, I don't hate money. No, you can't exist in this capitalist system without money. All I'm saying related to like excess. The average black man is not going to be driving a Ferrari. And the average 20-year-old young black man is not going to have a stack of $100 bills. So I'm just saying it's dangerous imagery to put before our young men, because then it forces them to make choices to try to reach out, because isn't that what you go at the lobby boys about? Hey, you selling us poverty while you living in the suburbs. So aren't you being
See,
a little contradictory?
no. See, here's the difference, right? There's a difference between rich niggas selling you the hood. And first and foremost, you don't really see Jim Jones with Ferraris. He's selling you them dirty ass, dusty ass buildings. I want to see the Ferraris. I want to see the mansions. I want to see the jet skis. I want to see the yachts because that is what I live for. I want to be on a boat. If there's a boat going somewhere, I want to be on it. If there's a plane going somewhere, I want to be on it. Where I don't want to be is in front of them goddamn pissy, shitty ass buildings that I grew up my whole life. I don't never want to go back there. I've been there already. I smelled the piss in the elevators. I know what it's like to get stuck in the elevator. I know what it's like for niggas to be shooting each other in the building hallways. I don't ever want to go back to that. I want the promised land. I want the land of milk and honey, and I don't want it when I die. And that's the bottom line to that. And there's nothing wrong with showing people that you can have nice cars. There's nothing wrong with showing people and inspiring them. It's a difference when you're trying to sell them the hood. So it's not hypocrisy when you have a broke rapper. You got a broke rapper rapping about the things that he lives, and that's all he know. You got a rich rapper that's rhyming about things that he done surpassed in life, but he's trying to keep you in that mental state. There is a difference.
Right.
The rich rapper is the most dangerous thing that ever happened to the hood. When he keeps trying to sell you the hood.
I'm telling you, I see Herman. I would say 90% of these rappers, they don't care about the kids. They don't care about the youth, brother. Because if they did, they wouldn't be rapping these type of lyrics and looking at these kids imitate them. They don't care, man. So hip hop is dead, Herm. You saying hip hop is not dead. Hip hop is dying slowly every day, man. Look at these rappers and what they talk about, bro.
You know what? It's like this, right? It's like this, right? When you reach a certain age, let's say 40 years old, you 40 now. It's the bridge of life, and you start to realize that you don't have that many years left because most people don't even make it to 40. Just being real, coming from where we come from, eating the bad foods and going through the things we experience. You know that you accumulated kids and grandchildren now,
Right.
and you going into the studio, and you sat up all week and thought about how you're gonna write a rhyme about how many niggas you shot and how much crack you sold, and when you ain't sold drugs in 20 years, or probably never sold drugs in your life, and you rapping about how many ways you gonna kill another nigga, when you know in real life the last thing you want to do is shoot somebody right now or get into a beef because you're too old to go to jail. You get locked up at 40 years old, and let's just say they gave you 15 years for a shooting. That's a death sentence. It's a death sentence. Even if you make it home, it's a death sentence. You only got a couple of more years to live. but you in the studio and this is what you selling to the children. These niggas know better than what they doing.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with that. I think sometimes Brother Hassan and Brother sa.neter, I don't want to say trapped, but that part of the dynamic is all we focus the energy on, and we have to because it's our immediate circumstances. But that's why I was pointing to capitalism. There's a system that has our people locked into these conditions where we are going in and out of jails and looking for Section 8 and in NYCHA and in public housing. There's a system that does that. So I get it, and maybe that's not the conversation we're having now, because we're speaking about individual needs and how to secure one's future, one's children's future, all valid points. But if we the system is designed to keep us skirmishing around survival, so you never have to address why you're all in that position in the first place. Because that's why even if you see the men that I have in my avatar, they spoke of us collectively rising as a people, not us escaping from each other. So I try to emulate that principle and not be so driven by material. Is it needed? But it's so disproportional. I mean, we got $20,000 around our neck. There's no other ethnic group, no other people that have to show so much excess. Many say it's related to our low self-esteem. We feel
But that's
so
what the rappers brought to the culture. That's them. They brought that to the culture, though, brother. And people emulate them.
They being who?
Huh?
You said they brought it to the culture. Who is the they you speak of?
The rappers, the hip hop community. Because remember, we was representing the red, black, and green. We was representing our own stuff. But that's because we really didn't have the money for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But there's nothing wrong with wearing a chain around your neck. But when you wear much of it, it looks crazy to me.
But also, you said sa.neter, the thing is, how one rapper per se could have got a deal, a contract to wear vis-a-vis King to lead the rest because he was looking for a check or a payday. So that's what I'm saying. If we kind of go back to the same thing, it's all money, good money. The brother that stands on the corner selling drugs to our nieces and nephews and our children thinks all money is good money. That's how we destroyed Harlem.
But that's not the money that we talking about. That's not the money Hassan talking about. We ain't talking about drug money. We ain't talking about hit money when you put out there. That's not what he's talking about.
You're right.
Legit money that we make and that you work for.
But you're right. But I did hear Hassan say, and maybe I misheard him, so he has a chance to clear this up. I believe I heard him say all money is good money. Do you stand on that, Hassan?
What I stand on when I say all money is good money is being legal.
Right. That's what
I'm not convincing nobody out there in today's time. I'm making more money than rappers and I'm making more money than drug dealers. The average drug dealer. Why would I convince somebody to go out there and sell drugs?
Right.
You got children again that's playing video games that's making $10,000, $20,000 a month off of playing video games. You got people, these females, they doing reels on Facebook, they doing reels on Instagram, they doing reels on YouTube. All they doing is trying out outfits, and they making $10,000 and $15,000 a month. Nobody's working jobs anymore. Working jobs is a thing of the past. The problem is some of you niggas didn't tap in. So y'all feeling cheated and you're feeling mad and you need to get out of your feelings. You know how many people sit up there and tell me, you need to go get a job, Hassan Campbell, and stop begging. I don't even do lives no more. But you mad because I'm so hot that people give me donations? That's for one. For two, you niggas are sitting up there talking about you need to go get a job. And I'm like, why would I go get a job? Within the last 60 days, I made $40,000. So you want me to go get a job where in 60 days, I done made $40,000 just off of YouTube alone. So you want me to give back some of my money so I could be broke just like you? That's what the problem is. You niggas didn't know how to catch up with the time, so you mad at the people that caught up with the time.
There you go.
And you trying to play, what y'all doing is witchcraft. It's sorcery. You trying to sit up there, and move the goalposts. Now, hold on, one more thing. You sit up there, you talk about niggas running around with gold, right? Gold on their neck, right? So You don't have a problem with the slave master going over to those mines and stealing our gold. But when
Mm.
we get a little chunk of it back, you got a problem with us wearing it. So the
Oh,
cracker could sit up there and take all of our gold and claim it. And then when we realize that gold is real money, because it's the real money, that dollar bill don't mean shit. When the economic system collapsed, that mineral right there, that gold is the real currency. So now you mad and you using your voice to try to, instead of sitting up there saying, telling people, yeah, we need to get more gold, you trying to make them feel bad about having gold. The reason why they use these rappers in the videos to make us look stupid with the gold, to make
right.
us look like niggas with the gold, is because they want gold to look like a bad thing, when in all actuality, gold and oil is the gold, people and oil is the number one currency. We so when we get the gold, we don't know what to do with it. The oil, we don't even have access to it, but the number one power is the people. And because we can't get our minds right, we can't take over the world. The number one currency in this world is people. This is why when you sit back and you analyze how you talk about these border jumpers, right? They play the game of reverse psychology on us. Because now we want these border jumpers out of here so bad. So many people send them back, send them back, send them back. Mexico closed the borders on us. Now it may and Mexico is like a not a nice place. Not a nice place. People be getting put in barrels and over there, over there. They don't play in them cartels. But now when we go through this new world order and what this white man have installed for us, and we want to escape the borders, they didn't lock those borders down to keep the Mexicans out. They locked them borders down to keep us in. Because when we get fed up and we get tired and we say, yo, we got to get out of here, it's time for us to escape, to go to Africa, to really, really go. Not sit up there and sell Africa to the people and knowing that we ain't going, but we need to escape these laws in America. Now we stuck here.
But Hoss, hold
We-
up. I gotta say this, man, because you gotta let these suckers know. When they talk about go and get a job, go get a real job, this is a job, Hoss. We pay taxes just like they ass do. We pay more taxes than them. They take way more money from us.
Listen,
You
I'm glad you said that, right?
know what I'm saying? Come on.
I owe more taxes than niggas are making in a lifetime.
That's what I'm talking about.
I owe more taxes than what some of these people are watching that's going to make in a lifetime. They don't even understand that I owe more taxes. Like nobody ain't never taught me. Like, listen, when they stopped taking the taxes out of our money, I didn't even realize they stopped taking taxes out. So when you getting $40,000 and $50,000 checks and you spending all that money like it's yours, this is my money, and you ain't paid those taxes, they waiting for you. They got a nice jail cell waiting for you. So yeah, we pay taxes, but again, I'm not going to apologize because if I decided I want to get out of my bed at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you done spent half your day at work. That's your fault. You didn't want to reinvent yourself. That's your fault. Because at the end of the day, you got YouTube does not have no age brackets. You have all types of ages on YouTube. You got people like the brother that got missing, he ain't got no teeth in his mouth, but he doing good on YouTube. There's no excuses for you niggas. Don't get mad because we created a lane for ourselves with people like us. That's your fault. That's your problem.
You know how much time it takes you to sit back, to edit your videos, to put in that work? That's work. That's what you're doing. You're working for yourself. But see, people are mad because you're working for yourself. We pay taxes just like every other regular job out there, and we pay way more taxes than you. You see? So this is a job. This is work. We just created our own job, our own lane.
You
Simple
know,
as
I've seen other channels out there, which I'm about to do the same thing. I've seen other channels out there where you had people that had big channels that branched off and created content creators out of their family members and passed generational wealth down. Right now, like with my children. Once I get the right camera crew, I'm about to start filming me and my children going to high school, going to college, us just having fun and showing that the black man still raised the black children. I'm a black man. When you ask me, what am I doing for the community? I'm raising them. I don't have the time when niggas be sitting up there, oh, Hassan Campbell, he ain't outside. Like, I got a question for y'all. How you spend so much time outside when your children is in the house? How do you spend so much time outside when your children need their homework done? How are you outside on the street corner when your kids had a bad day at school and now they need to get some of the stress off of their own chest, but you outside on the block with the real niggas and the bad bitches. My time is spent with my children and I'm shamed for it. So now I'm going to show black men what it's like to be in a house with black children. It's okay. It's okay to rep your children. It's okay to have to post your children on Instagram. It's okay to post little clips of you and your children being in the park instead of always having pictures standing in front of a bodega with a bunch of real niggas. Dudes is going to the stores. The hell with the jewelry. Niggas is going to the stores to buy the best outfit to stand on the street corner with another nigga.
Right. Hey, JoJo, it's an art to listening, bro. I never said I was making all this money on YouTube. I never said I'd make all this money. We talking about now, bro. What are you talking about? And you always want this information for free. You feel that you don't have to contribute nothing, but you want to get this knowledge and information for free. But when you go to this white man's school and all this other stuff, you got to pay him. So what are you talking about?
Now the problem is they don't have a problem with Charlemagne the God getting rich. They don't have a problem with DJ Envy getting rich.
Right.
But when you see a nigga that's independent, we make something out of ourselves. Now you don't want a nigga to get paid?
Right.
Come on, man. Get out of here with that.
And then the preachers and pastors and all this, the ministers, y'all ain't got no problem with that. But anyway, hey, Smalls, we getting ready to close this thing out. You got any last questions for Haas, and then we're gonna let Haas close out.
Okay, well, certainly. Well, first of all, again, brother, thank you for taking time out of your day to even just grace us with your insights. You could easily, for 1,000 reasons, brush this off, but you gave us your energy, you gave us your insight, and I have noticed that side of you. I know this is social media. I've met you twice in person, but even through this dynamic in writing and seeing how people write to you, you're carving a path that has been so unique until and that's why we didn't even get to Kanye. But that's why one of the questions we won't get to answer.
Why you ain't get to Kanye? Go ahead, ask him something.
Actually, we did get to Kanye. I just ripped him down so fast that you just forgot we done went through him. I shredded him so fast it wasn't even funny. But you can go back to Kanye. It's like how we bodied Kanye in the beginning.
Right.
Well, Kanye West is on the listen again. Kanye West is mad because they took his whore of Babylon. They took his whore of Babylon. They took his prostitute. He wanted back. She don't want him back. She was part of the contract. Now he wish he didn't have those kids. If he don't want his kids, why would he want your kids? Not only did he get up on the internet and say that he don't want his kids, he got stuck with her because he didn't even want the kid. But then he got on the internet and he decided that he wanted to talk bad about Jay-Z and Beyonce's autistic twins. And that's why I drew the line at. Because I have autistic children and those children are innocent. They didn't ask to be here. You know what it feels like to be a parent of an autistic child and your child is going to be a child forever? When you die, that child will not be able to protect itself. So I have to chase the bag because I have to leave something behind for somebody to take care of that child that's going to be a child forever. Or they're going to end up in what? A mental ward?
Damn, he attacked Jay-Z and Beyonce children?
He sat up there and said, look at them. This is what happens when you have test tube babies.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's why even for me,
he said that?
I had defended Kanye in a lot of his positions, but he really, when children are not off limits, I really can't even hear anything else he's saying, because especially children that have a challenge. So yeah, if that was for shock, but again, look at Charleston White, and I know you're covering him. Now he wants to R women, especially Asian women, and so how much of that is tactical? And Hassan, how about Snotbox Rocket? I mean, that had a very harsh element when it was first introduced. So how much of this is fair play?
Hold up. I'm glad you said that. So he got a Snotbox Rock TV turned off when Kendrick Lamar stole my line and brought it to the Super Bowl. It's the hottest line on this planet right now. But because Kendrick Lamar did it, it's acceptable. But when I was trying to get around the algorithm and bring awareness to Black Death, I was the worst piece of shit on this earth. We can't have it both ways. Y'all love me, or rather hate me for the same thing y'all love these celebrities for. It can't work that way. That's the problem. You don't see protests and riots going on because he's actually saying, turn his TV off, man, you got bodied. This nigga got killed. It's the nice way of saying it. He got a bullet in his brain. This is what this nigga made a whole song about. Nobody had a problem with it. It's an anthem. But when Hassan Campbell said it, when I was trying to bring awareness to Black deaths, niggas tried to paint the worst picture in the world about me, and it shows the hypocrisy of the Black community. And this is why I say again, this is why we have to separate from each other. Because all you niggas that sit up there and worship them celebrities, y'all can't come into my community. I don't want you. All you niggas that feel like it's okay to sell crack, I don't want you. If you think that it's okay to get rich off of selling death to Black people, no, I don't want you. You're suicidal. You're genocidal.
You got any more questions for Kanye? Come on, Herm. You said you was gonna you wrote down some questions. Get into it.
Well, he can't get he can't handle this ass whooping I'm gonna give him. He's rusty. He ain't doing enough push-ups. He got to get back out there, start jogging, get his memory back.
Yeah, and we didn't even touch health and fitness. Brother Hassan, you say he had his
That's a whole nother live.
and vegetables and all this stuff, and you don't even talk about that stuff anymore.
That's a whole nother live.
True, and you can lead by that example too. Now we all can be a little healthier, bring that pressure down, get that scale a little bit lower.
I mean, you know, that's a whole. Like I said, that's a whole nother. Anytime you got seeds that's genetically modified, I've never back in the days. I'm gonna leave it at this. I've never in my life seen an apple. Normally, when you get apples from the store, they go bad within 3 or 4 days. I got apples sitting in my kitchen that's been good for months. So when you put that in your body, what is it doing to your body? It's unnatural.
That is definitely scary. But again, as we close, brother, thank you for being open to collaborate on such a short notice, sharing your gems, making a way for others via music. You cause controversy at times, but you definitely get a lot of people thinking. What are your parting words? What do you want to close out with? Just to let people know about you that may not know, because a lot of people think they know parts of you based on what they've seen. Share part of yourself they don't know.
Well, it's not even so much what I want to end this with. One thing I think sa.neter need to take it back to is that Sa was one of the first people that I actually seen that actually pulled the audience into a building. Sa, you need to get back to that. That was the most smartest thing that you ever did. You took content creators that you brought out on your platform and you pulled them into a building. Just imagine if you took some of today's content creators and you brought them to Harlem. You got Tasha K doing it. You got you got Charleston White starting to do it. I'm about to start doing it next. I got a mean following. Like YouTube could play with our numbers, but they can't control who goes into that building. It's time for us to put the show on the road. These conversations that we have in here right now need to be had in front of a live audience with the cameras rolling with pay-per-view. Stop giving out things for free. Now it's time for us to pull our audience out there, because the reality of it is that, you know how Michael Jackson said, this is it? For some of us, this is it. This is our last chance. This is our last run. I didn't come here to lose. I came here to win. It's time for us to actually get in some of these buildings and pull this revenue inside these buildings and have the conversations that the people need to hear. Because like I said, we're moving towards a funeral. I mean, not just a funeral. I meant to say a future, but we also moving towards a funeral. And what we got to understand is the future is robots. The future is robots running a world where we won't have no jobs. If AI is getting ready to take over, and we know AI is getting ready to take over, how much time we have left to prepare for what's to come and leave something for our children in the future? It's time to get back to these buildings and have these lectures, to have these conversations. They can control the numbers in this room, but they can't control the numbers that come out in real life. It's definitely time. I'm willing to come out to Harlem. I ain't scared of Jim Jones or Mano or none of the rest of them niggas.
I remember that was one of the places I met you at the Audubon Ballroom. You've always rolled comfortably through Harlem and the Bronx. I mean, I moved the same way. I feel I got dual citizenship. So yeah, and I agree with you. sa.neter was the first to convert an online following into folks that bought tickets and filled seats. And I think that's when a lot of other folks started like, whoa. I mean, folks was coming at sa.neter from all different type directions because he was tapping into a main line and he created a market. So, and just like you said, a lot of times, or I say it in my words, we don't value what we create. Yes, this is our dialogue, but we got folks like a Vlad, a Russian white man, 99% of his content is black people's issues. We got an Adam 22, nowhere near from our community, but his content that he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars off. It's from us and our cultural dynamics. So yes, if we don't own and put a stamp on this, other folks are going to run with it. So it's a good thing we got you, sa.neters, and many others, but you got to keep sharing your gems on how to keep them winning at this. As you say, chop it up. Any other pointers about that? You can lead struggling YouTubers or brothers and sisters that want to make this a career, or at least a source of income.
I would tell any YouTuber that's coming up, stop doing lives. Live doing lives is for people that got live audiences. If you only got 50 people watching, don't do no live. Build your brand. Give 3 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute videos and keep on building with those videos. Don't make a video that's too long. Don't give nobody a live. If people don't know who you is, why the hell am I going to watch you for an hour and a half? Why am I going to watch you for 2 hours? I don't know you. So building your brand, think outside the box. Stop saying the same thing that everybody else say. Like if you saying the same thing that everybody else is saying, why am I going to watch you? Why am I going to watch you? Think outside the box. Be creative.
But maybe the other side of the advice is needed too. Just like certain professions people are naturally inclined towards, what are some of the red flags that, hey, this might not be for you? Not to be discouraging, but I think right off the rip, you got to kind of be a people person. You got to be somewhat of a conversationalist because most of these people start with a device in themselves. So you got
Hold
to have
up.
something about you.
You got people on YouTube, right? It's all about your creativity. You got people on YouTube that don't say not one word. They go to the stove, they fry some chicken, they eat that shit, lick their fingers, and cut the video off. And people love that video. Like, yo, he tore that chicken up. YouTube is for everybody. You got autistic children that does autistic stuff and they upload videos, and other autistic children, for some reason, they find those videos and they watch them. You can go outside in your yard or go outside in nature and rub a bunch of sticks together and show how to create a forest fire, or rather a campfire. And people need to learn how to make fires. They're going to watch that. There's no excuse. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Nobody in this world is unique. There's somebody that thinks just like you. Tap into your audience. There's people that think just like you. Tap into those people. Do what you do. Be yourself, and you can be successful on YouTube. Be yourself. Don't be nobody else. Don't talk too much. And I'm going to tell y'all this, right? The one thing that made me successful on YouTube, pain is universal. A lot of people out there are hurting, and y'all scared to say, I'm hurting, I'm upset, I had a bad day. I'm hurting, I'm upset, I had a bad day. Tell people that you're hurting. Tell people that you had a bad day. Tell people what your life is like. Pain is universal. Let the people heal with you. That was my key to success. People seeing me hurting and it caught their attention. Men have been taught that we can't tell people that I'm upset, I'm hurting, I had a bad day, because we are seen to be weak. But in all actuality, in order for you to get to the healing, you got to talk about it. When you hide it and hide it and hide it, it's going to come out one way or another, through anger, through arguing with your wife, through fighting with somebody in the street corner, you have to let it out. I let it out on the internet. And my final draw with me breaking down is when I got shot. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. When I got shot in Bronx River and and and, and I realized that the people that I loved didn't love me. They wasn't there for me. But I realized that God Almighty said it wasn't my time. I had work to do and allowed me to live through that and showed me that I was still worth something. God showed me that I had value when the devil sent his assassins. The world watched. The hood sent assassins. The shaitan sent assassins to get me live on camera. And God allowed me to be spanked to show me the mercy. The season of mercy from God didn't run out for me. I could still get on my knees and pray and repent and live life and be with my children. They say hurt people, but hurt people also help others to heal as well. And it's time for us to heal. Pain is universal. Share your pain, share your story.
You there, that's the content portion of it. How about the technical, the hardware? What device? If a person is, most of us working with a budget, what would you suggest they begin to record and upload? Any suggestions related to that?
Listen, my whole YouTube career was built off of a cell phone. I don't even own a laptop. So when people be talking about I need a camera, I need a mic, right now I'm talking to y'all through my Bluetooth. I got a stand. Let me show you real quick. I'm gonna grab one of my stands just so I can show y'all. So what I do is I got a stand from Best Buy, or you can order it from online. I take this with me everywhere I go. This is what I use. You see this clip right here? I take my phone, put the clip right here, set it up, stand it up, and I'm recording. This is my whole setup. Nothing else. This is my whole setup. So there's no excuse. You on your phone, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok all day. Get your phone, make your video, upload it to YouTube the same way you upload to Facebook, same way you upload to Instagram. Put your title or whatever your topic is. When you get 1,000 followers and 4,000 watch minutes, you apply for your monetization. Once you apply for your monetization, you get a penny for your thought. They pay you for your videos. If you could
See,
put 8 hours a day into your job and even overtime, 40 hours a week, and you telling me that you can't put an hour or two into your videos, then you don't want it. It's not for you.
that tripod and that particular camera, how much is that running?
Well, this is my phone. Everybody has a phone, so it's whatever phone that you're using. But this tripod, you could probably get it on the internet for probably 20, 30, $40. This in Best Buy, this costs $100. This little clip on Best Buy probably costs 20, $30. But on the internet, you go on the internet and you buy one, you probably get it for 30, $40, the whole setup. It's simple. There's no excuse. You find you a
Excellent.
nice Find you a
And
nice spot in your house where you want to sit, like how I'm sitting right now. You sit down in front of where you want to sit, create you a little area, and make your videos. I started off making my videos in my car, and I got the whole internet. Everybody that you see making car videos, they got it from me. For years, I was making all my videos in cars. The reason why I stopped making videos in the reason why I stopped making videos in cars is when I got swatted that day. I was doing a live in the car, and dudes called the police and said I had a gun to my head, and they raided my house with my children in it. So yeah, some of my children was in the house, some of them was in school. So I said, you know what? That's a ugly because they wanted to see the police roll up. They wanted to see all that. They wanted me to go viral in a negative way. So yeah, I said, you know what? That's too dangerous. I'm outside in the car going live. Somebody ride by, do a drive by while I'm sitting in my car. Like, nah, it's too dangerous. But find you a spot, even in your car, make a video.
I think I
Talk about
definitely
what you
agree.
like to talk about.
I agree with what you said. Be yourself, that because that's not going to take any extra energy. Trying to be something or exude an energy that doesn't naturally come from you. Create an environment. I've seen people go and cook in the middle of a jungle, catch fish, and you're right. It is intriguing. You just hear sounds of nature. So there are things that people will watch or even look to for different reasons. Now, with guerrilla journalism, is kind of what I call this. We forget, or not all the time, but as a global stage in different parts of the world, what is you think the cheaper version, the cheapest version of a phone that you could get and kind of get in the mix. Or you might not have even done that kind of research. I know Hall yourself has been high end for a while, but for a person in a different part of the world where they might only be able to get the lower end items, what kind of investment might that be just to get them started?
It doesn't matter as long as that camera, you get you a terry cloth. Keep you a terry cloth. Wipe your lens so your lens is clean. Make sure your lens is clean and record. That's it. It don't matter what kind of phone. Like, listen, tap into the people that you like, the audience you like, and don't let nobody put you in the box. Don't let nobody put you in the box and tell you what you can talk about, what you can't talk about. Talk about what you like as long as you stay in the YouTube guidelines, and that's it. But I'm gonna tell you something else too, right? Just because when you started off on YouTube, you were saying anything up under the sun that went against the guidelines, YouTube will let you get away with that. Once you get monetized and you start to become a bigger channel, there's other people that realize that you're breaking the rules. So instead of the bots catching you, they're gonna flag your channel and they're gonna report you and let YouTube know that you're breaking the rules. And then you're gonna find your money going down and decreasing, not because not because well, basically because you was breaking the rules from the jump. So don't think how you started in the beginning you is how you going to end. No, follow those rules and follow those guidelines. If you want to talk about shit that you ain't got no business talking about on YouTube, create your Patreon, patreon.com, where people pay to see those videos. My Patreon is patreon.com, Hassan Campbell, where you pay to see videos that you're not going to see on YouTube.
And okay, back towards content. And I, top three, and you can't put yourself on that list. Who are the top three guerrilla journalists out here on YouTube that you would say people need to watch and follow? The top three.
Andrew Tate, Candace Owens. I'll give you those two right there. And Alex Jones.
There we go. I'm surprised Rogan didn't make that list. You don't think he's
Joe
making
Rogan, Joe Rogan, yeah, Joe Rogan definitely. Joe Rogan definitely. But yeah, them.
What do you think now, brother? As I say, I've been watching and following yourself. You were once very critical of Candace Owens, and then I've seen a swing to you being very supportive of her opinion. So has she won you over, or are you firmly in her corner?
Well, the thing about Candace Owens is that she showed that in some cases, in a lot of cases, there was things she was wrong about. And whether she's pretending or not, I don't know. But what I have seen about her is that she started tackling things that needed to be tackled in the black community. And at the end of the day, you know, when she sat up there, for example, and she's breaking down them pushing homosexuality on our children, and Nick Cannon is sitting up there, and he's trying to make her look stupid, and she made him look real stupid. Everybody's seen the video. Nick Cannon was sitting up there trying to push the agenda, and she was trying to break it down. Like, no real man want their son getting a banana in his tailpipe. No real man wants his daughter with a female with a strap on top of his daughter. I want grandchildren. So when you got people like Candace Owens that's actually speaking out against the evil that's being perpetuated on our people, I gotta stand with her on the topic. I'm not standing with her 100% on everything that she would, but the way she's using her voice for the people in Palestine.
Yeah, and Hassan, the thing is, with her appeal, and this, I think whether they give him credit for it or not, I think Trump has a bit of this appeal too. It's just like the gut issues, as I said about nature and how most people feel about it. I think Candace taps into that as well too. She taps into that so much that you can get past a lot of stuff. Now, y'all know I'm a Pan-Africanist, pro-black, blah blah blah. Candace Owens, her white husband, and her 3 children, and whatever, and she's pregnant now. And you would think folks on a hard line, black, would have that as such a major issue that you couldn't even hear a lot of the other things. But I've gotten a respect for her and how she goes at groups that most folks tiptoe around. She goes head up, and she hasn't been able to draw opposition that has dissuaded her from her past. So her path continues to go forward, and I find a way that is ethical, and I think there is an appeal of truthfulness, and I'm just very, very impressed, and I think I'm one of her most unlikely of fans, but you have to respect her honesty, her grit, and her tenacity going at some of the most powerful people on this planet. And she don't blink, she don't flinch. So I definitely have respect for her. Your back on that?
Yeah. Excuse me. We lost Hassan, but he probably be back, or his phone could have died out.
Yeah. Oh wow!
But yo, I thought you had some questions for Kanye. I ain't hear you bringing no questions for the Kanye.
Well, we didn't get to it, but we covered some really interesting
Man,
stuff.
all the time you've been here, you telling me you couldn't get to the questions, brother?
No, but when you see what we did get to, man, he took it some good places, man. Took it some good places. I was very, very impressed. And he's still a controversial figure. But that's why I see a commonality with him and Kanye in some ways. And there's a pattern. And you do become an outcast in many respects when you broach subjects in a way that can be right off the rip offensive, but it makes people think.
Quick, because this comment remind me of Herman Smalls. Y'all fooled. What that mean, Herman? FR. What that stand for?
That's for real.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Y'all fooled for real, shaking my head. She just changing grits to fit her pockets. She a smart woman. She is definitely a smart woman. Why do you think that's something bad? That she is changing grits to fit her pockets. Y'all kill me with that. Like nobody posed to fit their pockets, but it's all right for the Japanese and the Chinese and everybody to come into the black community and get rich off of black people. But when black people find the itch how to fit their pockets, we criticize that. We got to stop with that foolishness, man. Stop with that madness. Because you got McDonald's, Chinese restaurants, the Arab stores, all in our goddamn community. And we ain't got a goddamn word to say about them making money in our community. But when you see a black person, I don't give a damn about her white husband or who she's married to. But when you see black people making money and trying to make money the best way they can off of YouTube or whatever you're doing it, we have a problem with that. We got to say something negative about that. Y'all crazy. Y'all the stupid ones for not changing your grits to make a goddamn some money to fit your pockets. Grips. Come on, man. What do you think, Herman? Talk to me, Herm. Y'all got to stop that nonsense.
sa.neter, I try to keep a wide berth in how people's reactions are going to be, especially with a figure like a Candace Owens. Again, then from her history, I think the thing I was most displeased about was her original position was kind of similar to Hassan, fentanyl Floyd. She was one of the first ones.
Truth. I'm not talking about you, brother. I was talking about, the comment that I see. Yeah,
she was one of the first ones that really wrote that theory that somehow his drug level in his toxicology opened him up to be justifiably suffocated to death by that police officer's knee. And after that, it was really hard to get past and hear anything else she really had to say. But I ended up stumbling on one of her shows a few months ago and just listened to it. I mean, her intellect, you can't, this very smart sister, but just a tenacity. And now her faith is Catholicism, and she'd be ready to ride for it. And this different things.
Man.
I'm sorry.
I like Candace Owens. I don't have to agree to everything she said, but I still like her the way she get it in. Like you said, very intelligent sister, very
Yeah,
intelligent
so,
woman.
I mean, I'm more than. I mean, I am impressed. When I say impressed, and what's so interesting, again, it's a black woman. Now we're both old enough to remember another black woman that just had it all in a chokehold. Again, a black woman. It was Oprah. Remember Oprah? I mean, Oprah was getting
Yeah,
so many awards. She started to take her name out of it to give other folks a shot. I mean, but then it was less. It was much less media and more centralized, so easier to dominate. So now you got a black woman again. But you know, my theory on that: the black woman in the American psyche is ingrained. You know, and then you know your buddy Star, he gets off in his mammy kick and a whole bunch of other. We got
right there. I
we're
like
gonna
that, brother.
yeah,
You know,
we're gonna do a show one of
I'm
these
glad.
times. But so
I'm glad.
I'm going to wrap up this point real quick. But the mammy breastfed Masa children, breastfed. So now the whole no racist ideology. These are inferior people and they're less than, but they're breastfeeding your children. But look at so that's an intimacy that's part of the American psyche. So I think an Oprah was birthed out of that. In some ways, a Candace Owens. I read her comments, and these are all these mostly Europeans. I really would say she has maybe an 80% European base, and you can tell that by the comments, and they love her genuinely. But so across the board, I have a lot of respect for her. And you know me, I'm roll with Khalid, blackly black, blah blah blah. So she got me in there respecting her the way she's moving. That's a reach and that I think we need more folks, and it's going to come from more of our black women. So I mean that's my input. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good. But you mentioned Star Terrain and Star Chamber. Man, that's my man right there. Star. He's the only, no, I ain't gonna say he's the only one, but he's one of the ones that called me and made sure that I was good. My channel was all right. When my channel went down for a while, that I would say about a month and a half ago, he called me and was checking on me. And he said, Star, whatever you need, brother, I'm here. So me and Star always had a good relationship. He said, let me know I'm here for you, brother.
I might go out. If I do, I'm gonna either try to get back in, or where you gonna wrap soon, or
yeah, we can wrap it up. Close out right now before you go out. Okay. Close it up.
Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Thanks for the opportunity to interview Brother Hassan on your platform. I think we got some great contact with him.
Yeah, I agree. Go get your baby, man. Go get your baby.
Yep, right now.
All right, peace, brother. All right, family. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for coming through today early. You know, this was an early joint. And I'll tell you, me and Hassan been through a lot. We've been through a lot. And to be able to come together as men, you know, because we've been talking in the background and piecing it out, you know, and dealing with that type of stuff. So that's where we at now, you know. We grown as men who can look past the petty differences that we had. He said some mean and disparaging things to me, and I've said some mean and disparaging things to him. So we had an all-out war of words on the internet. And so we got past that. And instead of people being upset that I got them on my channel, you should be like, damn, brothers, that's good to see you brothers back and doing this work. And before you came on, Herman, I asked him, I said, yo, brother, do you think you and my son could patch things up and get this thing going? And so he was all open for that, which is a good thing. Herm, you there? Okay, Herman is not there, which is a good thing, man. And so we got my son coming up Friday, you know, and so I would ask my son maybe the same question, brother. Do you think you can patch things up with Hassan and we could keep it moving from there? So we got my son coming up on this Friday and try to keep this thing moving, man, bringing in the information and the knowledge. And damn near what Hassan was saying, as far as the people calling YouTube and flagging, he's right on that. That's how they got me. That's exactly how they got me, because of jealous people, envious people. They don't want to see you rise. They don't want to see your greatness on YouTube. And I'm surprised ain't nobody come in to ask Hassan some questions. Y'all scared of Haas, huh? Y'all scared of Haas. Y'all scared, man. But anyway, peace and black power to everybody. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Sakina Ra, what up, my sister? What's going on, my sister, Sakina Ra? When you coming on to do your presentation? You know the doors is always open for you. The doors is always open for you, Sakina Ra. And so with that, we're done. I got to get my channel back up and running. This one right here. This channel right here is coming back as well. This one is still on, they still struck this on. It ain't come back up yet, but this the channel I got to get back up and running.
Got a mic, let's get it right. No need to fight, got what you like. This information, so what you say, no hesitation, cause we ain't playing. Cam up with sa.neter, stand tall, bring a full measure. Speaking out, see who's clever, acting crazy, he gon' check it. Scholar scenes on all sides, InfoWars like Columbine. Interviews, they gon' shine, no arguments from both sides. Use your voice, let the truth out, tell your story, say what you about. We not worried, don't need clout, ain't no hurry, we can rewrap. Questions answered with no lies. Questions answered in a short time. Professor loyalty, choose sides. Reppin' royalty, I'm a new line.
Come together, stand tall. Put your hands up. If you got a camera, go ahead and cam up. Ain't no need to slander. Show your face, cam up. If you need an answer, go ahead and cam up. When the posture die, affirmation, we the entourage. No exaggeration, time to park the car. If the Lord willing, inshallah, we gon' speak the truth. Teach the youth, hands up, it's time to reach the roof. With Dr. Reggie and the Zoriac, cam up, we gon' heat the booth. Shahrazad Ali is back, Shaka Amos on attack. We just glad that Jabari came back with all the facts. We too conscious for y'all tag. Add it up, what you think about that? Other channels try to divide us, better get behind us. Who gave you the math? Come together, stand tough. Put your hands up. If you got a camera, go ahead and cam up. Ain't no need to slander. Show your face, cam up. If you need an answer, go ahead and cam up.
You got a mic, let's get it right. No need to fight, got what you like. This information, so what you say, no hesitation, cause we ain't playing. You got a mic, let's get it right. No need to fight, got what you like. This information, so what you say, no hesitation, cause we ain't playing.
So I spoke to Nepal about 2 weeks ago, and Nepal was supposed to get this cam up back up and running and jumping. I want to know what's taking her so long. So come on, y'all, let's put some pressure on Nepal and ask Nepal, let's go get these guests. I just got a call from Professor James Smalls while I was doing this live, and he's ready to come on. So Nepal, I think Professor Smalls will be our first comeback, and you're going to do it by yourself. I'm not going to be there. You're going to interview Professor James Smalls. I'm going to set it up, and you're going to be there by yourself. So we got to get this Cam Up podcast stuff back up and running. We got to bring on Sakina Ra. Let's hear her story from as beginning as we can. Let's get Sakina Ra's story, Nepal. You got your work set up ahead of you, and Cam Up podcast will be back. Peace and blessings.
You got a mic, let's get it right. No need to fight, got what you like. This information, so what you say, no hesitation, cause we ain't playing. Cam up with sa.neter, stand tall, bring a full measure. Speaking out, see who's clever, acting crazy, he gon' check it. Scholar scenes on all sides, InfoWars like Columbine. Interviews, they gon' shine, no arguments from both sides. Use your voice, let the truth out, tell your story, say what you about. We not worried, don't need clout. Ain't no hurry, we can rewrap. Questions answered with no lies. Questions answered in a short time. Professor loyalty, choose sides. Reppin' royalty, I'm a new line.
Come together, stand tall. Put your hands up. If you got a conversation, we the entourage. No exaggeration, time to park the car. If the Lord willing, inshallah, we gon' speak the truth. Teach the youth, hands up, it's time to reach the roof. With Dr. Reggie at the Zodiac, Cam up, we gon' heat the booth. Shahrazad Ali is back, Shaka almost on attack. We just glad that Jabari came back with all the facts. We too conscious for y'all tag. Add it up, what you think about that? Other channels try to divide us, better get behind us. Who paid you the math? Come together, stand tough. Put your hands up. If you got a camera, go ahead and cam up. Ain't no need to slander. Show your face, cam up. If you need an answer, go ahead and cam up.
You got a mic, let's get it right. No need to fight. Got what you like. It's information. So what you say? No hesitation. Cause we ain't playing. You got a mic, let's get it right. No need to fight. Got what you like. It's information. So what you say? No hesitation. Cause we ain't playing.